What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And me? My name's Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah!
This week, we're doing a movie that we've talked about a couple of times, and is kind of related to not one, but two movies coming out in the next couple of weeks, which I thought was funny. I can't remember, it's not the most specific, but it gets more related to that second one the further you go. To the point where I'm like, this is what they were doing, right? But anyway, we'll talk about it because we got the movie Congo from 1995.
Based on the gorillas. Hit Michael Crichton novel, Congo.
That's right. Based on that novel by the guy that made Jurassic Park.
Everyone's favorite.
Big hit. And then also this came out right after that. This was the kind of the, next shot at one of those. It's bizarre. If you've never heard of it, I would say stick around because it's really weird.
Oh yeah, but you guys are gonna have a blast.
I think this is almost on that cultural, everybody's heard of it kind of thing. But I don't know if it's quite there yet. I think it needs a resurgence for people to really appreciate how weird it is.
I'll say for me, hadn't heard of it till we watched it. So
I've
totally new experience for me.
I've known about this movie for decades. I think I first saw a scene of it when I was a literal child.
Oh, nice. Cool.
That explains a lot if you ask me.
It does, honestly.
But also, who knows?
I quickly looked up Michael Crichton's Wikipedia page. Just, I don't know, in case there was anything interesting there, I guess. Okay. You guys want to take a crack at how many times the man's been married?
Fuck it. I'll go with 6.
I'm going to say about 10.
No. Now you made it sound less interesting. It's 5.
That's pretty good.
I guess 5 is a huge number.
Yeah, 5's a lot.
Yeah.
We were discussing
I went with
this
more because that was so crazy.
Yeah. We were discussing the other day, DJ, that I believe that after the third divorce, you're no longer obligated to sympathize with somebody when they get divorced.
Right. No, there's a limit, right? So you're saying I still have 3 divorces to go to gain all the sympathy. That's awesome. Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But cool. Definitely on that third one, be like, I'm going to really take this seriously. The sympathy part, because it's otherwise I'm out of luck. And also, I feel like for divorces, I get it. I understand the whole thing, but I do think if you do the divorce and you're on the marriage 4, you can't do the vows the same, right? They have to be different. They have to be a little bit more conditional or something. Because, what are we?
I promise to really try to make this work.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years, depending on how things go, at least.
Maybe even no vows. Maybe just eschew with the vows.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna give it their all. We're gonna see some real hustle out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the officiant is saying at your 4th wedding.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Speaking of people saying things, being paid to say things and then saying them, we have to talk the news of this week. The most insane thing happened this week, and I don't think Diggins knows what it is. DJ doesn't. Although I don't know if DJ knows what it has heard about it today. It was mostly a today and yesterday thing, right? I think. Diggins?
I think yesterday was when we first heard about it, and more details have emerged today.
Okay, so I don't know if DJ has seen it, but when I told Diggins we're doing news that's based on a thing that happened on internet today, he knew exactly what I was talking about.
But I'm terminally online, so I'm not a good metric.
I mean, sometimes it's bad, but sometimes it's good because you get to enjoy stuff like this. Because this is absolutely unhinged. Just it's amazing. DJ, what is? I don't even know how. Can you think of a fun way to introduce this one, Diggins? Because I kept trying to figure it out and couldn't.
DJ, you like to take your son to fun places sometimes, right?
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a constant battle to entertain your children.
That's true. Yeah, and not wanting to be constant screen time. So,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you saw an advertisement for multimedia kind of experience that was taking place at some rec center or something near you.
Okay.
and you looked at the advertisements and you saw this like really high effort, like multicolored Wonderland, meant to look like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Oh, okay.
Like,
wow, exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, like they have all these decorations up, all these multicolored lights, people in costumes. It all looks pretty high quality.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Exciting.
Yeah, so that's something you would probably take your kid to, right?
Yeah, I'd certainly entertain the notion. Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you were in Scotland. That would be an instant click for you. You'd be like, I have to go to this.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing else to do in Glasgow other than drink, and my child can't do that for another 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. That's, yeah, I can't wait, by the way. Can't wait for 4th birthday. We're going so we can get hammered.
Yeah.
Can't
well,
wait.
You missed out, although I wouldn't be shocked if this thing keeps appearing as a thing, like as a bit in future years.
Okay.
So DJ, you would go to that. It'd be fun. You would love it, right?
Yeah. Is this like a sex thing? I'm like so scared.
I mean, it becomes one if you
stare. I wish it was a sex thing by the end of it.
God.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Here, DJ, I'm going to share the picture. I'm going to share one of the pictures with you, so you get to enjoy this.
Chat?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat, and you get to
great
enjoy
for audio medium.
Yeah,
by the way.
everybody in the audio, just look up here. I'm going to read the thing. pbs.twimg gxhksccx. No, I'm just going to put it in the thing and be like, you guys, look it up. It's great. So DJ, here, click on this link. This is a wonderful wonderland of Willy Wonka.
Right. Oh my God!
You get to go to doesn't that look like fun?
Oh my God!
What an advertisement!
I'm trying to read the signs.
Don't try to read the signs.
Yeah.
that doesn't make it any better.
That might spoil something for you if you try to read those signs.
Yeah.
Try being the operative word.
You have to speak Wonkanese, a specific language that doesn't exist. Okay.
I want to describe what I'm looking at here for the audience. So this is like a horror, like a pink Five Nights at Freddy's. There's a candy cane oozing caramel, but it's like creepy. It's like right out of Tim Burton.
Yeah,
the sky
really
is gray for some reason. Like it's not bright and sunny. It's like it was overcast today in the land of Wonka. There's a big, nice, like very, very decadent chocolate bar, but it's like sitting on top of this like mossy vine tree root that's like next to these pink flowers. It's so fucking weird. There's a little like Winnie the Pooh bear that like looks like Freddy Fazbear, like on the right side, that's gonna murder me.
That's way more of a gummy bear than a Winnie the Pooh, I'd say.
Well, one of them is, and then the other one's like a more severe version of that. I don't know where.
Yeah, and then his like
different designs for gummy bears.
His friend Piglet also is like hanging out there. This is horrifying. Yeah, it's very Tim Burton-esque.
It is very Tim Burton-esque.
Yeah.
I really want to read these signs.
Well, you're out of luck. Well,
you're welcome to try.
Here's what I'll do, DJ. I'm going to send you a picture of the event, because this was just the advertisement for this Willy Wonka event thing. I'm going to send you a picture of the event, and you see if you can find the signs and then read them on the sign. So this is what.
See, let's do one of those, like, you know, what's the difference between these pictures?
Yeah, see if you can figure it out.
See if you can spot the 10 differences.
All right, now we're in a warehouse. It's very clearly a warehouse. There's like a shitty like screen of a brick wall on the other side, and there's just like a couple of like Wonka things in the warehouse, like a big candy cane and a Wonka chocolate bar, but like very clearly in like a shitty warehouse. Like this looks like Willy Wonka's storage, less than a Willy Wonka experience. Fucking awful.
Yeah, it's so good. So yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it, because I just realized this, like they went to all this trouble to make some of these things, but not other things, right? And the thing that got screen printed was the factory wall on the thing. Why not like a candy cane or something? Like,
right?
unless that's from last time they did this, but like it doesn't. It kind of looks like a Willy Wonka wall. I don't know.
The little touches are beautiful. The little air conditioning unit suspended up in the air. The factory lights that can be clearly seen.
Cool.
The clear fog that is just inside the warehouse as this is being taken. Like there's a fire off in the distance. It's just.
I think they did have a fog machine, if I'm not mistaken.
Have a fog machine.
Wow,
in the lab,
great.
in the Loompa lab.
Mm-hmm.
This is so
Oh, can you show
depressing.
him the Lupa Lab?
Yeah, I could show him that. So I'm just gonna send you. Well, okay. Here's a tweet. This is a tweet. this is the Oompa Loompa. There was an Oompa Loompa at this event. Obviously,
You had to pay money for this shit? Like,
$45.
Well,
Yeah.
probably 45 pounds,
So
right?
I believe it
If
was
in-
33
oh, it
pounds
was
or
in the
something.
UK. Oh my
$5.
God. All right.
There
There-
were, from what I understand, 3 performers at this thing, and they all were given the script a day or two before. And there was a script. This was a whole thing. Like, they had to memorize lines. There was one guy that was Willie McDuff, I believe was his character's name, a Willy Wonka knockoff. This Oompa Loompa who was standing behind what some people have described as a meth lab. And then and then DJ, now you've seen the characters. You've seen we got Willy Wonka. You've seen we got the Oompa Loompa. Who's character number 3? What classic Willy Wonka character also appears?
Oh my God.
in this?
Do we have Augustus Gloop? Augustus Gloop?
No, try again. I'll give you 2 more guesses. Yes, the Willy Wonka character.
Now, yeah, let me give you a alert, DJ. I believe at the end of the script the performer was given, Willie McDuff must do battle with this third character.
Right.
Wait, was it Slugworth? Like,
No, not
That's
quite,
a great
not quite.
guess, but no.
One more guess, and then I'll send you the clip of the guy doing his...
Classic Willy Wonka character.
fucking Grandpa? Was it Grandpa?
Oh,
Grandpa
maybe.
Joe? Ooh,
Yeah,
that would have
Laura,
been
that's
fun.
what this guy is, but no, in fact, DJ, your favorite, everybody's favorite Willy Wonka guy. Oh, wait, hold on, I'm probably screwed up. All right, that link, that's the link.
Oh, the suspense must be killing. All right, is this the link here?
Yeah.
And it is
The unknown.
An
Evil
evil
chocolate maker who
maker.
lives in the walls.
What?
You see the video of him? That classic Willy Wonka look of a man in like death robes with a Destro mask on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
After this, the unknown goes to bet on Squid Game. He's all ready for Squid Game betting.
Comes out with a very harsh like head tilts, like 45-90,
Yeah.
45-90, like
because he's an
just
evil
like this
chocolate
robotic.
maker.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He
I-
lives in the walls.
The event had no chocolate. Kids were given a single
No,
jelly
no
bean and a
chocolate.
cup of lemonade.
And they didn't have
Apparently.
enough jelly beans. They ran out.
I love this made up villain called the Unknown, an evil chocolate maker who lives in the walls. Why is he in the walls?
Is this where you would go?
That's where you go.
That's where I would hide if I was at this.
So this is the Fire Fest of Willy Wonka events.
yeah, kind of.
Is what this is. Oh my god.
I mean, it's definitely it's the everything of Willy Wonka events. Like I'm saying, like I wish like the parents called the police when they got there. Like they were really upset, and I would be too. But also now I want to go to it so badly, and like scream in terror when the unknown like slithers out of his mirror.
It can't still be
Something.
open.
No,
Oh, no.
it's not. But I'm
No,
saying I
no.
want someone to put it on. Like I want an
Oh.
ironic version of this by the people that do
Oh,
Sleep No
I
More or
see.
something, and I just want to be able
Yeah,
to
I was gonna say
experience
that
it.
this should be the new Sleep No More special event. It's the Willy Wonka experience from Glasgow.
Yeah, I mean, like it's and the thing about it that's great is the more details we get, like the weirder it is. Which you're like, how could it possibly be weirder than that? But like it just gets so so strange. I'm trying to find my favorite single detail. Diggins, can you think of any other details that are fun?
I remember the Willy McDuff actor was talking about his experience, and he said so at the end of the script he's supposed to suck up the unknown with a vacuum cleaner, and like that's how he defeats him. And he like when he read the script, he like talked to people. It's like, yeah, so do you guys have like a way to do you have like a special effect? Like, how is this going to happen? And they're like, yeah, I never really thought that far ahead. Just improvise something.
Yeah,
Just get a vacuum cleaner and he's like fussing. Oh, he was sucked into the vacuum cleaner. No way.
there was a similar bit where at the end of something, at the end of one of the like rooms or whatever we're calling these things, the guy was supposed the Willie McDuff actor was supposed to make a ball of yellow energy float into the sky and then explode or something. And yeah, he just got there and was like, I don't know what that means. And I'm like, yeah, we haven't really figured that one out either. So good luck.
Boy, howdy. This is just incredible.
DJ, one other thing. I sent you a picture, or I put a picture in the chat. This is another thing from their advertising. Just like a classic advertisement guy.
Oh, okay.
Willy Wonka guy, all that stuff. Can you read me the words in it? It's pretty good.
Ensuring entertainment.
That's right.
Cat gazing live performances, Karchi tons.
Wow.
Scars or drained lollipops, a paradise of sweet teats.
Paradise of sweet teats. Oh man.
Holy shit.
Like, they had AI write the poster as if the words are pictures and just kind of AI'd its way through the pictures of words.
But I'm sorry, if you see this, it's like red flag, no? Like,
I mean, I guess this was like a trap to get dyslexic people or something like that. Like, I think if I wasn't paying attention, I would, because the first time I looked at that poster, I was like, yeah, it's a weird looking Willy Wonka in the middle there. I didn't even look at any of the words. And also, if I'm a parent taking my kids to the Willy Wonka experience, maybe I see those words and go, yeah, that's Willy Wonka mumbo jumbo, you know. This is a flangflumler. This is a gat catcher. Everybody knows those. And
also, look at the Willy Wonka guy, and he's holding like a big lollipop, and inside there's like supposed to be this like girl figure, but with like the AI can't do hands.
No,
why can't AI do hands?
I don't know. This is why I say we all have to chop off our hands to, you know, piece AI.
Just AI cannot do the hands. It's insane. Even his hand holding that lollipop doesn't have like the right amount of like fingers. It's ridiculous. Oh my god.
It's it's pretty awesome. I really want to find, there's one other thing about it that I love, that was an explanation because like I said, the script for this thing is out. The people that worked on it showed, I don't know if they showed the whole script, if they showed bits of it, and you can read, like, because not only did AI, I imagine, come up with the idea to do this and, you know, all this advertisement, also they put in the script, like, give 15 pages of Willy Wonka experience script. So like,
oh God,
some of it is just nonsense they didn't write or like do anything with. Okay. Yeah. This is all right. I'm going to read you. This is a quote. This is right out of the, Willy Wonka script. Willy script. And let's not forget our secret inventions. The soup flavored jelly beans designed to keep the wee ones clean, hot, and spicy beans that attracts the birds' wings. That's a story for another day, or perhaps a question for your parents.
Oh my god.
The audience chuckles, appreciating the playful innuendo. And my favorite, the boogerberry bean, freshly made from grandma's old crusty hanky. A taste that's, well, let's just say uniquely exquisite.
Willie, that's awesome.
Last thing, proudly. And of course, the piece de resistance, the anti-gravity or graffiti gobstopper. Not only a marvel in keeping children's rooms clean, but a testament to the wonders of imagination and innovation. The door slowly swings open, revealing a glimpse of the lab's interior, flashes of color, bubbling concoctions, and strange machinery. Yeah,
what a nightmare. I feel so bad for kids who were like caught into this shit. That's so bad.
Yeah. Like, it would be, I mean, at what point, okay, so as a parent, you would, obviously you know this, at what point would you go, this is it? Like, something's up. What's going on here?
The poster I first read, that's like, we're out. Like I'm too naive, excuse me, to think that like, it's the amazing, like, fantastic, wonderful world of Willy Wonka, but like, right. I just like, I can't get there. I can't get there.
Do you think if you walked into, like, let's say the poster was good and it looked like it was a real thing, but you walked inside and you saw, you know, like that, would you like leave immediately? I guess you would want to leave immediately because you'd think it was going to kill you or something.
Here's the problem. See, that's the thing, right? I get to the warehouse and like I tell my kid, I'm so sorry. Like, let's just buy you a puppy right now. Like, the problem is, if you're a parent and you brought your kid to this, like, if you went through the experience, like, that's like one thing. If you remove your kid, it's like, oh, but what could I have had? I worry that if you do put your kid through this, you may scar them for life. So like, maybe it's better to just like buy them a puppy or whatever. Like,
and then you take them with the puppy to this. And
I guess
the puppy can protect them from the unknown, the secret monster of Willy Wonka land.
That is so effing bizarre. Oh god.
The best part of it is I don't even think technically they can copyright The Unknown because the AI made it. So if they want, we can make an Unknown origin story movie or something. It's a public domain character as far as I'm concerned. And like, that's all I want right now. It's just the unknown.
I want the unknown in everything. How can we work the unknown into our favorite movies?
I want a version. I want the Wicked of Willy Wonka, where we see the Willy Wonka story, but from the perspective of the unknown. You know, just like watching in the walls, going, "I don't think this is a good idea to send that kid into the big chocolate river."
This is like, I don't know. Could this be the next new hot Halloween costume, like the unknown? Mm-hmm. Like I know Halloween's not for another 10. Like, months.
Unknown, yeah, and it's a great couples costume. Unknown and Willie McDuff. Unknown and the mirror. Unknown and a Scrooby child. Unknown and the Oompa Loompa lady.
Unknown and the wall. You just dress up as like a wall.
That's right. You hide in the
unknown
wall. Yeah.
Pops up from outside the wall. Oh my god.
I'm gonna do this one more thing that I want to do before we move off of this. I mean, it's great. I hope these guys do a million.
Oh yeah.
They'll never be able to do it again either. If they ever try to capture the magic, it won't be as funny. So you know. Also, I heard some people were like, "This is like an Always Sunny episode," and Rob McElhenney was like, "No, this is like an Always Sunny Abbott Elementary crossover episode or something."
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, they probably should make that. But this is part of the script. This is the script, and I'm gonna read you the script, and I'm gonna show you the thing. All right,
please. Yeah.
So it's gonna be another message in the chat.
Okay.
The audience now release. This is by the way, this is after the unknown is defeated, so it's like the end of the thing. The audience, now relieved and rejuvenated by the whimsical turn of events, follow Willie into the bubble and lemonade room. Laughter and chatter filling the air once more as they immerse themselves in the joyous, bubbly wonderland. An easy picture of it. That was the lemonade room.
That's horrible.
It's
the lemonade isn't even like full.
Yeah.
It's like half full. That's so embarrassing.
And I don't even think it's lemonade. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Cause I mean, it's definitely some like weird off-brand something, but it looks like you could see underneath the table like Surge Cola or something like that, you know, like Mountain Dew. So it does say bubbling lemonade. So maybe that's what they were going for. But yeah, this was a real thing.
That's so embarrassing. I'm sad for those kids that had to go through that.
I'm sad for them, but like assuming they make it through like the experience and like, you know, whatever therapy they need, this will be such a fun story to tell for them.
Yeah.
You
have to get over the horror of like, you might have been so excited to see Willy Wonka and you got the unknown. The unknown.
Well, I mean, and that's my other question. Because as a kid, I remember doing stuff. You know, everybody has these things where did you go to like medieval times as an adult or a kid?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So then did you go back as an adult and go, oh, this is like a room, you know, like that?
Yeah, so, that's fair.
Do you think there were some kids that were like, oh my God, the lemonade zone, incredible. This is everything I've always wanted.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they had a great time, you know?
Sometimes the whimsy is enough to get through some of the horrible bits, but
yeah.
Yeah, this one's particularly horrible.
It's pretty cool. And yeah, I think so this didn't happen this year or like last year. If it did, last year could have been the year of Willy Wonka, between the Wonka movie, Viola Davis's character in fucking Songbirds and Snakes or whatever being evil Willy Wonka, and then this. Like, yeah, I wish it all came at the same time because man, it's so good. And that is Willy Wonka Experience, or it's not even called Willy Wonka Experience. It's like called like the Wonka Experience or something. So
the Wonka. That's it. That's a hip trendy name. It's the Wonka.
Good luck trying to sue them. I've never been caught. That's maybe that's what their whole thing is. It's like there's no human to sue. What are you gonna sue? OpenAI.exe? Impossible. No one worked on this.
You can't be done.
Yeah.
It turns out when you steal enough, like how 1 million deaths is a statistic, if you steal enough, no one can actually get you in trouble for it.
And I think that's great.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know what else makes sense, you guys? Congo.
Yeah, Congo, because this is our lead up to Kong.
Yeah.
This is Congo.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking
Congo
of a
Kong.
fever dream with a evil shadow figure and stuff, That's probably how this should end it too. We haven't seen all of the script. If Willy Wonka whips out a fucking AK-47, just mows down the unknown. But
one can only hope.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we have to talk about Congo, 1995's Congo. Think they'll ever remake this?
Do you think they'll ever remake this?
Doubt it.
Yeah, I'm doubtful.
Probably not.
I'll throw that out there. I'm doubtful.
It was financially successful, but it was a huge critical flop and considered a kind of embarrassing bomb.
What?
Get out.
Sure. Everybody loves the Congo. People probably haven't heard of it, and they're like, Congo, is it a movie about the jungle? It's like kind of. But
yeah, sort of.
I don't know what like the IMDb summary, and we'll get to that, but like, you know how IMDb will sometimes give you like little words that are like associated with it. It's like Spider-Man would be like multiverse or whatever. I cannot even imagine what the words for this movie are. But speaking of IMDb,
gorilla,
maybe, or maybe it's other stuff. Maybe it's Romania.
Could be.
You know, it's an important word.
It's true.
But yeah, DJ, what do you have to tell us about?
All right, guys, it is time for everyone's favorite game, the IMDb Bee as in spelling bee. Bow, bow, bow. Cue the air horns. Okay, so we play a game as IMDb Bee as in spelling bee, and every week two of us try and guess what the summary is as determined by imdb.com. And you guys are wondering, how is the summary for imdb.com created? Well, guys, it's actually very simple. There is a cave somewhere in the Congo, and it's been abandoned for 8,000 years. Wow. There hasn't been anyone in those caves except for apes 8,000 years ago. And what these apes did was they had the precognitive ability to be able to know plots of movies, because apes have like special precognition where they could be like, this is what a movie's going to be. And they kind of like just like intuitively like figure out movies. So what they did was in that cave, they were just like, here's all the movies and we're just going to write down all the summaries. And then one day explorers from imdb.com found the summaries, but they didn't know the movies, so they had to piece them together. So we're like, all right, we think this is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, this is Die Hard, and this one's Congo. And we have the one that the Congo one is what IMDb guessed this summary was the one.
Great sentence.
Yeah. Is that why they're so frequently wrong? And like, so yeah. Like Aquaman's got to prepare his wedding or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, also, did you guys see, speaking of AI, the explanation for last week's weird summary that we've come up with based on the Discord has kind of come up with? And I think it's absolutely right.
The Discord, before the episode was out, also noticed that the summary was bad and figured out why.
And good for them.
They are the true heroes.
But
and it's because it was like written for another movie or something.
No, it's because it seems like it was written for either there was an official one, or it was made for some sort of like, you know, fan, like Wikipedia kind of thing. I forget what those are called.
Sure.
I think it was on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Or like a fan site.
So the IMDb one took that and either ran it through a language filter, like ran it through two different languages somehow, or just AI'd it and changed a couple of words to make it a little different. And some of them just didn't work. So instead of like former, it was supposed to be past or future or something, or like, you know, like
past.
So it was a past. Yeah, I guess it would have been,
because the sentence was like has to deal with something from her past.
Yeah,
and you know the IMDb summary was like something from her former,
and we were like that doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense for that. And New York Metropolis was also New York City. So so AI is writing these now apparently, but that's for newer ones. I wonder if older ones are better.
Well, here's what I'll say. It's not bad because it's very short and broad. So here's the hints I'll give you. It's short and it is like very basic, like to really just give nothing away. So you know, put in some details, but this is almost like less the summary and more what you'd write for like, hey, you want to watch this movie? So that's what I'll give you guys. Maybe more hints than should have, but you know, I don't want to do tiebreakers. So I'm trying to help you guys out, cross the finish line. So who gets to go first? I think it's Diggins gets to choose.
Yeah, because I lost last week.
Great.
And I will go first.
Okay.
A teen goes looking for a researchers go looking for a missing science. Okay, no, hold on.
Now for
Clear?
real start.
Clear?
Yeah.
This one's for real.
Got it.
A group of researchers goes looking for a team that went missing in the Congo.
Okay. Nando.
I'm going to say it's obviously something similar, but like a little bit different. A team of scientists goes on a journey through the jungle of the Congo that is interesting. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know if I want to say like that is disastrous or something. It's so hard to. Of course, it's disastrous, but basically, it's Jurassic Park. You guys, they did Jurassic Park in the Congo. That's what the summary was.
Nando, that's actually exactly what the summary
Can that
is.
be
Wow,
it?
that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Okay.
Does it have a hyperlink to the Jurassic Park IMDb page?
I am floored. I am floored. You both did poorly. Nando, did you like punt on purpose? Was this just kind of like,
I mean, that last bit, I didn't think it said that, but I kind of also ran out of words. Just a group of scientists goes, whatever it was, like a group of scientists goes on an expedition to the jungle of the Congo or something.
Okay. Okay.
I thought there was something where I could be like, to find a mysterious thing, but even that, I was like, I don't think that is information that the beginning of the movie wants you to have, so it didn't feel right.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what I want to say. A couple things. One, unfortunately, we have to go to tiebreakers. Now, I was reading some discourse back and forth on the Discord, whether the tiebreakers are good or bad. You know, some people love when we're just stuck in the mud. People are like, oh my God, this is so cringe. I'm on the side of the worse we are, the better it is.
Like the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We should get him to help.
Yeah. Maybe the unknown can make the tiebreaker. Now, I'm taking I'm not doing any trivia. You guys did so abysmal that whoever loses, I don't feel bad for. I don't feel bad for either of you guys. I'm heel DJ. You guys are a bunch of jabronis.
Wow.
Diggins, I'm gonna smack the herpes off your lip.
Herpes off his lip.
Yeah, smack the herpes right off your lip.
Wow.
So I'm going entirely off.
Listeners, I want to break kayfabe here for a minute. I don't have herpes.
But if you did, wouldn't you be excited to have it smacked off of your lip? Like,
That's true. Yeah, if you could cure my herpes by smacking me, that would be amazing. There is no cure for herpes, DJ.
It's one of the ones you manage. So that's like definitely, yeah, The Rock he's that good of a person that.
And the Rock's gonna smack it right off your lip.
He's de-herping the population of Utah. So
I am going entirely off the poster. We're doing an entire poster IMDb, and here's what I'm deriving all of my I hope you guys haven't seen the poster. The
AI created poster where it's a bunch of swirly gorillas with no fingers, or a real poster? Because I think they should make one of those if they haven't. I don't know if I've seen the poster for this, but I've seen like a cover or something.
Whatever. This is like the stock image. I still don't think it's enough to like give you guys a thing. So there's a tagline on the Congo poster, and it is where you Congo, where you are the blank blank. And I want you guys to guess what that blank blank is.
Oh gosh, I have heard this, but I can't remember it.
I've got a good guess. I feel pretty good about.
You get to guess first based off our weird rules or whatever. So,
where you are the God, I'm gonna hate myself when I hear it because I know I read this earlier today and I can't think of it.
Ooh, it hurts.
Where you are the research subject.
Nando?
Where the fans decide. No, that's the Kids' Choice Award. Sorry. I'm not guessing. If it's not this, it should be where you are the endangered species.
It is where you are the endangered species.
Yeah.
Laura Linney had a line like that in the middle of the movie. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, yeah, that's.
She has it at the end.
It's the end. Yeah, you're right. It is at the end. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Nando. Easy tiebreaker. We're done. You know, I don't feel bad. And I'm not even going to say, oh, Diggins, I would have given it to you. Because I would have given it to neither of you. I'm a heel now. Here is the summary. And there's so many words you got. Nando, you almost would have won anyway if you stuck with disaster. If you said disaster or disastrous, no need for tiebreaker, you would have won. So stick with your guns next time, buddy. But the summary is, when an expedition to the African Congo ends in disaster, a new team is assembled to find out what went wrong.
I was
kind of right. I just had it shorter and in reverse order.
But Nando also had like many of the same details. It just
I'm not arguing that like I should have won. I'm just saying you made it sound like I did horrible. I did okay.
All right, fine. You both did okay. Then you guys did the same amount of okay. I guess that fine. Sure.
I went to the IMDb page, by the way, because I wanted to see the poster, and thank God, because it is the poster I thought it was, which is like,
this is the one that's just half a gorilla's face.
So it's half a gorilla's face, the word Congo, and then a bunch of like computery text. Code? And I was like, is that what he's gonna want us to guess? Is what the code is? It's like, I don't think it was anything.
Start guessing the word on the code.
I don't really know why that's there, to be honest with you.
Although honestly, if we had to guess the words on the code that are highlighted, it's kind of funny.
What are
non-human attack, unknown species, source unknown, lost city, Zinj,
flawless, blue diamond, and then like
like that would have been a terrible tiebreaker.
Yeah. And then just the word transmission a bunch. It looks like, but
yeah. So, well, Nando, you won, which means now we talk about what we thought about the movie, and that begins with you, Nando, telling us what you thought of the movie.
So, without getting into too many specifics, much like the actual movie does, or the IMDb summary does, but because this movie doesn't really know what is going on for a lot of it, and like it is, you know, a worse version of Jurassic Park, but like in a lot of ways where like there's stuff that happens in the beginning where you're like, we shouldn't even be seeing this at all. There should be something we find out much later or whatever. It's like, it's not like, it's really weird. I don't think people should watch it. No, that's not true. I do think people should watch it. I don't think people should. Should people watch it on their own before they listen to us talk about it on the podcast so they can experience some of it for the first time?
That's an interesting question.
I'm going to say maybe yes. There's certain parts of this that are not like surprising, like it's a thing jumping at you, but a thing where you, in whatever way, vaguely way I can describe it, like experience it and you're like, that can't be what this is. And then it becomes it and you're like, that's pretty wild. Although I know why this didn't hit, like besides the fact that it's not very good at like being a Jurassic Park. It's also like not incredible at being a campy version of this either. I do think a lot of the like difficulty comes with just the like Laura Linney is fine in it. Very basic Laura Linney performance, but the guy playing the main ape wrangler, Dylan Walsh, is just kind of not there. And we've seen enough of these movies from this period that we know what this guy's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the Rocketeer, but like obviously not as rough and tumble, but like somebody like that. Or Rick O'Connell from The Mummy, Diggins' favorite movie. Or, you know, Bruce Campbell from some of Bruce Campbell's early work, you know, lots of options. But yeah, it really doesn't get any of them. And for that reason, this specific thing holding it together doesn't work. I do think a lot of the side characters and like choices are kind of fun. It's also a weird, apparently like the choice, like the behind the scenes of this movie is pretty weird, which I always appreciate. And it seems so clearly like it's hard to watch this and not go like, oh, this was supposed to be Jurassic Park. Like this is kind of a shot at that. I don't know. I kind of liked it. I had mostly fun watching it. I think it gets a little dull in the middle. Like there's some stuff that I think will kind of lose you. But at the end, a lot of stuff happens. It's pretty weird. And for that much, you know, I think it's kind of almost worth people's time. I don't know. But I would also say maybe if you're going to watch it, just turn it on right now. And then listen to the podcast afterwards, because yeah, certain parts of this movie are more fun experienced, I would say. I don't know. What about you, Diggins? What were your thoughts on Congo?
Yeah, so I knew about this movie, like I said. I've known about this movie for a long time. I have a vague memory of when I was a child, like watching one of the scenes at my grandparents' house, and it was one of the more memorable scenes, which I'll say what it is when we get to it. But so yeah, I knew that this movie was big and weird. And I think it's not a good movie. In the sense that it's not like, it is trying a little to be kind of campy and silly, but I think it mostly wanted to be a Jurassic Park ripoff, like Nando is saying. And it's pretty bad at doing that because the characters are much more boring for the most part. The main characters, particularly, like some of the side characters are a lot of fun, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But like you said, Laura Linney's fine, but there's not a lot going on with her character. And there's even less going on with Dylan Walsh's character, and he's also bringing even less to it.
Yeah.
So there's just like kind of nothing there. That being said, I agree that there's a lot of like fun stuff, especially towards the beginning and the end of the movie, that I think makes it a good watch. Like a good bad movie, you know? If you're going to watch it, probably it's the sort of thing you should watch with some friends instead of just by yourself on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
But I think it is worth adding to that rotation if you're the sort of person who likes to watch bad movies with your friends. Because I think it's the right blend of like silly and goofy where you're not going to get bored by it, but also not so bad that it's like painful to watch. So yeah, it's not very good, but I think it's fun. And if you want to watch it because there's some truly nuts things that happens.
Yeah.
What about you, DJ?
Yeah, I'm in mostly agreement with you guys. I had this, just a thought I had while watching this movie, and I don't know why this washed over me, but I was like, man, this movie would be like a really good Quibi movie. Because a lot of the movie is just like 9-minute segments, and like I'm going to purposely obfuscate to like not spoil anything, but it's like, oh, there's the part with like the river crossing, and then there's the part with the like the part with the camp setup, and then there's the part with Joey Pants. And I'm like, I could have watched this movie in 12 9-minute Quibi episodes and been like, can't wait to see what's going to happen on next week's episode of Congo, right? Like, it's like for like the modern movie watching experience, like it's so weird. Like, I think weird is the best way to describe this movie. I think Diggins nailed it. Like, if you watch weird like B movies, like and that's the thing, right? It's like, it's not a B movie because some of the production is like better than a B movie, but it should be a B movie. But right, you would put this into this like B plus A minus movie rotation, at least of what it aspires to be, you know, content aside, more the quality they're going for. I didn't hate it by any means. I just like, there are parts in the middle that are just like, it drags and then it picks up on the end, which is like around the end, which is good. But it's amazing that it clocks in like over 2 hours, or like just about 2 hours, because this could like easily be like an 80-minute movie. It's because it's the
what about the politics, DJ? The politics of the Congo and the countries around there, and what about, you know, all the science? Don't you want to learn about the science?
Yeah, don't you want to know all about the primatology?
I have to say, the one thing that like did it for me for this movie, where I mean, it happens pretty early on, where I'm like, yeah, I'm in, is, and I wish there was more of it, is like Bruce Campbell Unhinged, where he's channeling his fucking Kelsey Grammer, Emmanuel Grouch the Third, like that's, man, give me more of that.
Darius Emmanuel Grouch the Third, aka the Rumble.
Right, of course. But yeah, like just give me more of that shit. Because I love that.
Is that what you read him as in this movie?
I don't know that I agree with that.
I would have loved that.
Screaming about how shareholder value is the most important thing ever, like kind of.
Oh, not Bruce Campbell.
Wait, that was. Oh no! I've done a classic DJ gaff. Oh no!
Yeah, I forgot Russell Crowe is in this movie as the Italian man exercising the demons. Who is Bruce Campbell
in this movie, and who am I thinking of?
Bruce Campbell is the boyfriend in the beginning, or ex-fiance in the beginning.
Oh my God!
I don't know who you're thinking of. I don't know who that guy is. Probably
he's like the owner of the company.
Joe
like
Don
Yeah,
Baker.
I know who you mean. I'm looking up the actor's name now.
He's not even a guy. Like, this is how bad I messed up.
He's like kind of famous. Like
Joe Don Baker.
Yeah,
Boy,
you'd recognize. Like he was in GoldenEye, but I don't remember who he was in it. It's not Sean Bean, so it's somebody else.
Boy, howdy, did I crush it? Did I freaking crush it?
Yeah.
How old do you think Bruce Campbell is? That you thought that guy was Bruce Campbell in 1995?
Like, I guess that's the problem.
Did you Did you think this was an Alien, whatever it was, Prometheus situation where they put Bruce Campbell in old man makeup in the beginning of the movie, and then they were going to reveal later that he's actually young, and it's like, but they forgot to put that part in because they got too busy with the 4 other climaxes that happened at the end of this movie. Like, they're just like, should we trot out old man Bruce Campbell? No, we don't. It's not worth it. Don't bother.
I think like Bruce Campbell today was in the 1995 Congo movie. Like, was that?
I mean, even that, I'd be like, man, Bruce Campbell, he looks okay. I don't think he's quite where this guy is. Not to say anything negative about the fine man who's in charge of, Technology Corporation or whatever the company's called.
Travacom.
Yeah, right. Because they're a communications company. And they love satellites.
Listen, it wouldn't be a mostly nitpicking episode if DJ didn't want to have one of his classic goofy gaffes.
Yeah,
that's what makes the mostly nitpicking sizzle, baby.
Absolutely.
Oh God, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, I would say, without getting into too much detail, the Bruce Campbell performance reminded me of like the beginning of a ride where you're on line for the ride, and there's a video of a guy that's supposed to be like, "Oh yeah, we're about to get in the Jurassic Park thing." Like,
Bruce Campbell has actually spoken about why his performance in this movie is kind of stilted and not that great.
No,
which is interesting.
I mean, I think for me, it was just the way it was framed in one continuous shot of him being like, "Hey, everybody, I'm here in the jungle." It's like, okay.
Sure
remember, all 4 people to a row on the gorilla. Nobody put your hands outside of the gorilla, please. Gorillas love to bite your fingers off. Apparently not, though, or something. We'll get to it. But
apparently, gorillas are not very aggressive. Anyway, Bruce Campbell said that when he was on set, at least, the screenwriter was there and was like very insistent that all dialogue was said exactly as it was written, to the point where like they did his first take and he like, said like a couple times just like while he was talking. Sure. And they were like, no, you have to say it exactly. No uhs or anything. And so, like, he was so he had to spend a lot of mental energy making sure he was saying everything exactly, and he says that kind of made it so he couldn't focus on the performance too much.
That makes sense, and that's apparently John Patrick Shanley,
who's written some really good movies.
Yeah, not all duds. I mean, and you know what? Movies that are like all over the place too. So, like Moonstruck, which is like not like a silly movie, but then like Alive, which is a pretty serious movie. That dinosaurs go to Times Square in cartoons that I loved as a child. And then
he wrote We're Back.
He did a dinosaur story, yeah. And then he wrote the screenplay, at least for the movie Doubt. So that's pretty good. That might have even gotten him like an Oscar nomination. I can't remember, but people took that pretty seriously at the time.
Huh.
And Joe versus the Volcano, one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. So right up there with this, honestly.
And Wild Mountain Thyme, which I believe is one of the worst movies ever made.
Is that right? That sounds so familiar. What movie is that? Oh, I've seen bits of this. This movie is weird. Yes, guy's a genius.
We should do that one day.
Yeah, we really should. I think I've watched about half of Wild Mountain Thyme, and for whatever reason, I couldn't finish it. But yeah, it's pretty strange. Yeah, this guy, man, I love him. He also directed Joe versus the Volcano and
Wild Mountain Thyme
and Doubt. What is it with this guy? Oh my goodness, incredible! I like him a lot. Speaking of things I like a lot, I like that I don't have to summarize this because I already forgot a bunch of it. But Diggins, you do have to summarize it. So Diggins, the plot of the movie Congo, and like I said, anybody who wants to watch it, if you don't want to get spoiled, now's the chance to watch it. You can't stream it anywhere. They hid the movie in they buried all the things in the desert like the ET game, but you could kind of find it if you try really hard.
You could pay money to rent it on like Amazon or whatever.
Sure.
It's not for streaming anywhere for free.
I have a question. This movie is a Paramount movie. Why the fuck is it not on Paramount Plus? This is a Paramount Plus movie if we've ever seen one. Like, what the hell?
Is it not on Paramount Plus? Because most people would never know since no one has Paramount Plus.
There is no way to know.
As someone who downloaded Paramount Plus this week to watch a certain show, which we might recommend.
Hey.
A certain show that someone is invested in pretending is good.
A certain show that things have changed. I didn't even, it's not on Paramount Plus. I don't know why it's not, because it's like, I mean, it's not like
because it's not very well regarded and they don't think anyone wants to watch
apparently.
it.
I mean, but it's your streaming service. Like, you might get one more subscriber who wants to watch Congo.
Yeah, but then you'll have to pay 1 more cent to the actors, and that is unacceptable.
That's fair. Yeah, we cannot do that. Yeah, that's fair.
But also, when you're listening to this, fine listener, maybe it is on the streaming service, because shit just rotates constantly in and out of those, and nobody could keep track. So
also true.
You never know. So Diggins, what is the plot of 1995's Congo?
All right, so we open in the Congo, where Bruce Campbell and some other guys are doing. Well, actually, I think technically we open in the Travacom base, where they're like, some guys are in the Congo doing research.
Yeah, and
Bruce Campbell's there, and he's like, "We found it. We found the MacGuffin." And he holds up the MacGuffin to a lady who he has flirty banter with, sort of. This lady being Laura Linney. And then he puts the diamond runoff that he found. It's not like a full diamond. It's like runoff they found in a river. He puts it in a big laser gun he has, and then he shoots it. It lights some of the jungle on fire.
Yeah.
Just fucking wild, because they're a communications company.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we're going to find those diamonds soon because they're right around here. And she's like, I'll go get our boss. Who is your dad? And he's like, I'm going to go get the other guy. I'll call you back in an hour. So he hangs up.
Oh, right.
She gets the dad, and they're trying to connect, but they can't, because the guy that Bruce Campbell was going to go get is showing Bruce Campbell a little jungle area he found through some water, and is like, wow, isn't it so cool here? And he goes off, and then something gets thrown at Bruce Campbell, and Bruce Campbell's like, you kidder, and he picks it up, and it's a human eyeball.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And then a bunch of things that the movie wants to pretend are not obviously gorillas come through, attack everybody, and destroy the camp. And then the Travacom people see that on the camera they have set up. And they're all upset. The CEO man is like, don't tell anybody, because then we won't be allowed to go back, and you're going to go and get those diamonds. I mean, my son.
Yeah.
It's very, very important.
He likes the sun and diamonds the same.
They're all
she's
equal.
She's like, I'll go to get your son, but if I find out you care more about the diamonds, then I will be mad. And he's like, I promise it's about my son.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call my diamonds, by the way.
Oh, that's a shame.
Then we cut to somebody trying to teach a gorilla how to paint. Well, I say try to. The gorilla is painting.
Yeah.
So it's working.
Yeah.
Because we're with the primatologist and his research assistant, who are looking for grant money because they've taught a gorilla to speak. Like Coco. You guys remember Coco.
Yeah. So when was Coco? I was wondering about this. Was it before this? At the same time? Because it was around 1995. I remember it happening. I can't imagine the guys were like, they watched Congo and they're like, holy shit. You know that gorilla we got at home? Let's see if we can get it to talk. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Coco was born in 1971. Gained worldwide attention in 1978.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So yeah, no, Coco was absolutely a thing by then.
Interesting.
Anyway. So they've taught this gorilla to speak via sign language, like Coco. And they do a big demonstration where they're like, we've outfitted her with a device so that will translate the movements of sign language to like a text-to-speech program. And I'm like, that's like, the hard part of this was teaching the gorilla sign language, I think.
I thought so too.
Like, this is cool for like people who use sign language if they want to use it, you know, to help them be more broadly understood. I don't really see how this changes anything about the gorilla part of it.
Mm-hmm. There's people who are like apparently so interested in what gorillas are saying that they will, you know, go to all these lengths of technology but refuse to learn sign language. Like,
or
not worth it.
Listen to, I guess if I had to say one thing, it's like if you're just seeing the trainer like sign to the gorilla and be like, the gorilla said this, you could be like, well, he's making that up.
Now there's undeniable proof of what actually happened.
I mean, there's not, because he could be making that up too. It could just be a thing that plays audio.
Well, it seems like the characters in this movie think that you can take the power glove, put it on a new gorilla, and then use it to detect whatever the gorilla is thinking, as if all gorillas use sign language to communicate with each other. It's so weird how this how this technology is sold. Right.
But anyway, everyone is actually like super impressed. It's like, wow, this is incredible. Gorilla speaking technology.
We finally done it.
And so they could get grant money, but Amy is the gorilla's name. She's been having nightmares and has been getting upset. And they realize from all the paintings she does of the jungle that she wants to go back to the jungle. And I'm like, there's absolutely no way a gorilla that you taught sign language wasn't raised in captivity. There's simply no way.
Also, like, maybe it's just like screen paint. It's not that specific of a picture it's drawing. It just kind of looks like I think you're putting it on that, you know?
It's very abstract. It's very much like you kind of take out of it what you bring to it.
Yeah. Also, is there anything else interesting about the paintings?
Well, there is a recurring oval shape that one man in the audience pulls out a little ring he's got in a box for some reason and seems very interested. But anyway, so they're like, we want to take Amy back to the jungle because she wants to go back. And the dean of their university, I'm not exactly sure what this man's relationship to them is.
Yeah.
Is like, absolutely, why would we fund the research of bringing the gorilla you've spent probably years, if not decades, teaching sign language to back to the jungle? That's crazy.
It would be nice. You know, it'd be nice if they did it.
Yeah, I mean, sure, one could argue that ethically maybe they should, but I can understand why the science man is like, well, obviously we're not going to do that. But then the man who was in the audience, a Mr. Timothy Curry, shows up and instantly makes the movie better the second he opens his mouth.
Hell yeah, he does.
And he's like, hello, my name is Harkama Hokoma, and I will fund your gorilla return program.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's really what it is.
It's extremely good.
Incredible.
I want you to know, listener, I promise you I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
And like, and this character is just like, looks like Tim Curry with this accent. There's nothing really else interesting about him. And he's just there.
Yeah. Then very quickly in the movie, you're like, why is he even still here?
Yeah.
Like, why don't they just leave him behind? But anyway, so he says he's a Romanian philanthropist, and he promises to fund an expedition to bring Amy back to the jungle. So they're about to set off at the airport. Laura Linney's character shows up because, I don't know, they have infinite money to spend on this expedition as much as they want, but also they need to piggyback on another expedition. I guess to have a reason to travel to Zaire, the country they're going to, without arousing suspicion.
Yeah.
Although, as we'll see, that quickly becomes moot anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so she's like, I gotta come on your expedition. And Dylan Walsh's character is, I mean, I guess you don't necessarily want a random person to join your guerrilla expedition, but also he's really rude about it.
Yeah, this guy likes gorillas more than people, and I get it, but also it's like he just, I don't know. I don't understand the hatred either, because she seems like she'd just do whatever he wanted. Like, you know, she'd be quiet.
She's like, I just want to go and do the thing that I want to do. I literally just need to be on this plane.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bunch of money for it. And he's like, how dare you? But fortunately for her, it turns out Tim Curry can't pay for the jet fuel. Well, it's not a jet, but can't pay for the plane fuel that they need. So Laura Linney has her company foot the bill, and they can't say no. I mean, they could, but then they can't go. So they let her join them. They have a big discussion about how apes are very gentle and not aggressive, and totally won't kill anybody later in this movie.
Totally.
Totally. They get to the country that they're, again, I think it's Zaire, but that might be their ultimate destination, and they landed in a different country. It's not clear. I mean, it is clear if I like really paid attention to the dialogue, but I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
Obviously.
They get there. Joey Pants shows up.
Woo!
And is like, I've arranged everything. I've got your security guy, your tour person, your like the jungle guide, etc. And the gorilla people are like, what? But we arranged all that. And Joey Pants is like, nah, your guys sucked, so I changed it and hired my own guys who are good.
You guys didn't do shit.
And you're like, oh, this is because the company is hiring people that will carry out the company interests instead. And this is like sinister. And like, no, Joey Pants actually does pretty right by them. He hires a genuinely competent guy who they wouldn't have survived without.
Yeah.
And who never like even thinks about betraying them the entire movie. So it turns out Joey Pants is just abrasive. He's actually a very genuine and like knowledgeable guy.
And he probably smells bad, right? We can just assume based on Joey Pants.
It smells terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But while they're in the airport, like moving to their next flight or whatever they're supposed to be doing, the president's car blows up, but doesn't kill the president. Basically, a coup starts in the middle of it. And so they have to very quickly make their exit with the help of Monroe, one Ernie Hudson, who is the new cool guy that Joey Pants hired.
Yeah.
And so he sneaks them out of the airport with the help of his men. And they are trying to go to Tanzania. They get stopped by a government official, but then they bribe him and they leave. And honestly, the whole detour is pointless.
So
super
pointless.
easy, barely inconvenient. That's why it would be a great Quibi episode.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
Quibi episode.
They try to fly over the border. They get shot at by the government of that region, including with heat-seeking missiles. But Laura Linney used to work for the CIA.
Yeah,
and so she knows how to divert heat-seeking missiles with a flare gun, which is a real thing.
Yeah.
So she buys them enough time that they all parachute off into the jungle before the plane explodes. Then they go on foot. It's at this point that Dylan Walsh's character is like, I think I want to opt out. And Monroe's like in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah.
With a bunch of guys who just tried to kill us. You're just going to like turn around. I mean, feel free, I guess.
Great stuff there. Great stuff.
Yeah.
They find, with the help of some very sensitively depicted tribesmen, a member of the old expedition that Bruce Campbell was on, who is like catatonic.
Yeah.
They try to get him to say what happened, but he doesn't say anything until Amy shows up, the gorilla, and he screams and then like has a heart attack and dies. I wonder what that could mean. They keep going. Amy destroys the communications equipment that Laura Linney brought where she could still talk to her boss. And she's pretty I get pretty understandably mad about that because that's probably tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, if not hundreds of thousands.
Yep.
But that doesn't really lead to anything either, other than some other guys show up and immediately get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Because their plane gets shot down and they crash. I think the next major thing to happen is they have to cross a river and get attacked by hippos.
Yeah.
Another creepy episode.
This is the kind of boring middle part where it's all fuzzy because none of it matters.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But then after that, also in several conversations, like they reiterate this point so many times, we discover that Herkimer, Tim Curry's character, is actually not just some random philanthropist, but is kind of a con man who owes lots of people money. And 5 years ago, he went on an ill-fated expedition to try to find Zinj?
Yep.
Zinj, an ancient city that is supposed to be like have a diamond mine in it that nobody's ever found.
Yep.
Ernie Hudson Monroe is like, it doesn't exist, and he's an idiot. And Herkimer is convinced that the eye symbol that Amy drew in her paintings is the eye symbol of Zinj, like from the ring he found on the expedition he went on. And that means she knows how to get to Zinj. This eventually gets more or less borne out to be true, although it's not exactly clear how.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, how Amy knew about Zinj?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's just because she's from there, right?
Well,
that's just...
I think the plan was have Amy go talk to other gorillas that know where Zinj is, and because we can speak to Amy, that'll do it. I think maybe that's it.
Right.
Amy does try to talk to some gorillas at some point, but it turns out other gorillas don't just know sign language, so she doesn't have any luck.
No.
And can't understand English with her cool backpack that speaks, so out of luck.
Doesn't work out. And Amy's sad about it. A bunch of stuff happens. Amy, the tracker device that Laura Linney is using stops working. But Amy seems to think she knows where to go, so they decide they trust Amy and follow her, which leads them to the campsite, which is now abandoned and all the bodies are gone.
What?
If there's a reason for this, none was ever given. I mean, obviously the gorillas took them to the big body pile we see later, but why?
I don't know.
Yeah, hate to see the big body pile.
I guess they are skeletons.
Yeah, I don't know. And skeletons after a week or something, right? No time has passed.
Yeah. Anyway, they now close. They find their way to what seems to be Zinj because there are a bunch of statues with amber eyes in them that are exactly the same as the symbol on the ring and that Amy's been painting.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So they go in and start looking around. They see some paintings on the walls that are the humans who lived here trained gorillas. I guess actually we don't see that until it happens. So if some of them go in, a few of them stay out. Basically, all the unnamed characters and the research assistant.
Yeah, the guy
outside.
from fucking whatchamacallit from True Lies, I think, who's not Tom Arnold and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but works with them for some reason. He's I don't want to go inside. Totally reasonable. And the movie's what a loser. Gives him
what a fool.
Yeah, gives him the loser's death. Bullshit.
Yeah. So the evil gorillas that they've been hinting at all movie, and we've known they've existed since the first scene, finally show up, kill all of the unnamed characters. The research assistant runs in, screaming for help, and then dies. And then we find out why he dies, because one of the gorillas shows up and throws his brain at Dylan Walsh.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the scene I saw as a child, by the way. A gorilla throwing a man's brain at someone. Really stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They shoot the gorilla with guns, though, and that works.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't it?
It makes sense.
They got a lot of guns, too. So it's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, no worries here. Hakuna Matata, baby.
Right. That's when they read the cave paintings and are like, the humans who lived here trained gorillas to protect the diamonds, but they did too good. And the gorillas protected the diamonds so much that they eventually killed all the people who lived here.
Yeah. It's like, good thing we have guns. They probably didn't have guns.
Yeah, probably not.
So we'll be okay.
They search around. They like set up camp for that night. The gorillas test the perimeter like the raptors. Remember that scene, guys?
Oh my god. Well, set up camp? What do you mean? What did they set up?
Well, fortunately, it's been a kind of recurring bit throughout the movie that Laura Linney came with like tons and tons of equipment.
Straps, bro. Straps.
And so she has a perimeter security system that has like electrified laser beams and automated turrets.
Yep.
It's so good, man.
So anytime any of the gorillas come near their camp, they get like electrocuted and then a bunch of guns shoot them.
And she's able to power all this just like in the Congo, like no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And this is at a point where they still don't know if the guy that got kidnapped is alive. So they set up a bunch of auto turrets. What if he sees? I don't know. At this point,
it's from our company, right? So presumably he would know, well, if I touch those electric lasers, then I'll die.
Well, it seems like even before because the lasers show up because first it's just big giant guns, and then they're like, put on the second thing, and then she puts on big purple floodlights, and then they're like, the third thing, and then you get the lasers. But it feels like if that guy wandered out of the forest and went, hey, I saw you guys, you get exploded like it's fucking, like Portal or something. I don't know. This movie's cool. I like that
fortunately, it keeps them safe from gorillas all night. Although Herkimer ran away in the night.
Whoa.
Actually, not important at all.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, what was that supposed to be?
They go in some buildings. There's an earthquake. They get trapped in the building, and then Herkimer shows up like, oh, cool, I found you guys.
Yeah.
That was close.
I cannot... I need to make it clear. This is the next scene after he disappears.
Mm-hmm.
But then they find the main gorilla home / diamond mine. And by mine, I mean like the Willy Wonka experience version of a mine.
Hell yeah.
Where somebody just half-heartedly stuck some glass that's shaped like a diamond in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, go ahead, kids, mine for diamonds.
Those lucky kids.
Herkimer's going nuts. Like, I need all those diamonds. And they're like, maybe you shouldn't take those diamonds that the gorillas are protecting. And he's like, we haven't been anywhere near the diamonds. They've been killing us all movies. So, like, I think we could take some diamonds, guys.
Yeah.
But it's Grady, so he's bad. So he gets separated from the others by, like, 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's enough. He gets surrounded by gorillas and gets his brain smashed in. The others try to escape. They find a big geode where Bruce Campbell's body is. He is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this confirmed Bruce Campbell. I thought some fucking guy. I'm like, no, Bruce Campbell yelled at that lady earlier.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell's trying to get his son, Bruce Campbell.
Yep. But he found a big, perfect diamond before he died, and he had his laser beam on him. Yeah. So Monroe and the primatologist, Dylan Walsh's character, who are the only other two people alive at this point, are gunning down gorillas, but Dylan Walsh gets caught, and they're about to kill him when Amy shows up and there's a mixture of like gorilla screams and sign language at them.
Yeah.
And Monroe is like, this is just so fucking confusing to these gorillas that they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, they could kill her in an instant, but they're just fascinated by what the hell is happening here.
Yeah. It's the nonsense. We're witnessing nonsense.
And that buys them enough time for Laura Linney to power up the laser beam and lasers all of the gorillas in half.
Yeah. That's a good sentence. And then Laura Linney lasers all the gorillas.
They all eat so much shit.
Yeah.
She is destroying these gorillas with this laser beam. It's incredible. I have no idea what the communications applications of this laser beam is.
No. I mean, neither did they.
She does one last thing with that laser, but you're not.
Well, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We're almost there. Anyway, the whole thing is built on a volcano, which starts erupting at that exact moment.
Oh, yeah.
So they
keep talking about that in the beginning and then kind of forget for a while, and then it becomes the whole thing. Yeah.
It's pretty fucking important.
So the three people and Amy make a break for it. The lava starts flowing out, which kills all of the evil gorillas. I think it's supposed to be like the ground is shaking and they're falling into the lava. It looks like they're jumping into the lava like it's a cool pool. Like it's a cool pool party.
Definitely. There was one that I was like, he doesn't know what lava is or something. But yeah, he lives in a volcano, so he should probably figure it out. But also, I guess there's never been any volcanoing that's ever happened here because all the shit is fine. Like,
Yeah, presumably this city wouldn't exist if this volcano had ever erupted in the past 8,000 years.
Exactly.
Pretty bad luck that it's erupting right now.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, they make a break for it. Laura Linney lasers down a tree so that Amy and the primatologist can make it across a chasm before it collapses into lava. They all make it out. And they're like, woo, glad we're alive. But Amy met some nice gorillas earlier in the movie. And it's like, I want to stay with these nice gorillas. And Dylan Walsh is like, okay, you can, goodbye forever, Amy.
Goodbye.
And it's, and he seems very sad about it, but I guess it's good. Anyway, then they pull out a hot air balloon that they've also packed.
Yep.
And ride that off into the sunset. Before they do that, Laura Linney calls not Bruce Campbell.
Mm-hmm. A Bruce Campbell type, if you will. Easily confused.
A Bruce Campbell type 30 years after this movie came out.
They all go out for the same rules, yeah.
And tells him, I'm sorry, sir, but your son is dead. And he's like, well, what about the diamonds? And she's like, I specifically warned you what would happen if you did this.
Yeah.
Hey, you moron. What are you talking about?
So she programs the laser beam to shoot up and destroy his special satellite.
That happens, and I'm like, what is this? What are lasers? What is communication? I was flabbergasted by this.
They should just sell the design of this laser beam to the military. It's incredible.
I mean, you keep waiting for fucking any character to drop one of their preposterous accents to go, actually, I work for the military, and I'm here to get the evil gorillas or the laser beam, and none of them do. It's so weird. I don't understand. I really I don't know. It's the most kind of unsatisfying thing in any movie. It's just going, what are they actually doing now? When does the part of this movie that the movie keeps kind of teasing happen? And it never does. Right.
That's what I figured Tim Curry's character was at the start of the movie.
Yeah.
Before it becomes clear what his thing actually is.
Right.
But yeah, no, so she destroys the satellite, and then, dumps the diamond that powers the laser beam. And they ride off a hot air balloon into the sunset. End of movie.
Yep. And I assume get shot out of the sky by those guys that were shooting them earlier.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think they have a plan for that, but
especially because they even in the movie directly in the movie point out they have no control over where the balloon goes.
Yeah,
they control the height. They do not control the wind that pushes it.
Kind of feels like, hey, Laura Linney, maybe hold on to that gun until you guys get home, and then throw it in the river.
Maybe hold on to the incredible crystal or diamond powered laser beam.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem to need any kind of external power source at all.
No.
Right? It's just a crystal, and we're like, good to go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like I would imagine the diamond is like a focusing lens or something, and that's what they needed for. Which means that they just built a portable power source capable of creating a laser beam so strong it can cut a gorilla in half.
So strong it can reach the space station and cut up the satellite in half.
It can blow up a satellite. Yeah. Like that technology already, even if you don't have the diamond you need as the focusing lens, is already so unbelievably advanced and incredible that you could live the rest of your life off of selling that patent.
Yep.
Like, is that, I know the answer is no, but that's not technology we have like today, right? That you could shoot a laser thousands of miles into space and blow up a satellite.
Not blow up a satellite with it, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm sure there's good lasers and stuff, but yeah, it probably isn't the ones that the movie did.
I mean, lasers, as we are actually capable of creating them, don't really have harmful properties.
Yeah.
I can't blow up a satellite or cut a gorilla in half.
I mean, if you looked into it, it would probably blind you. Yeah. But that's about it.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
like the energy it would take to give what is essentially light enough like force that it could actually cause destructive harm is unbelievable, which is why the fact that they have it in a portable gun is so incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're making a pivot from a telecommunications company to a military company. We're just full military now.
Yeah. And that guy doesn't even care. None of them care. Just nobody cares. Yeah. And listen, I get it. Comcast also makes a lot of money. So, like, sure. But, like, yeah, you just figure there'd be some character that says that. You know who say that is the guy that gets eaten outside. That guy. They're like, we did this to the military or something. But yeah, Laura Linney is part of the CIA. Wait, why isn't she doing this? Like, why isn't she a plant? No, that wouldn't make any sense. This movie's so stupid. I liked it. I really liked this movie. It was cool.
Perfect movie. No,
so dumb.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, everybody gets crushed kind of off screen. Hard to kind of describe, but everybody, like, the gorillas get them, and then they lift their arms up, and then the camera cuts away.
Also, a lot of the times when the gorillas kill people, it's either they cut away so that they don't have to have the people who are in gorilla suits like move around too much, or they start shaky cam denotes a level of like camera movement that is too smooth for what they do. Like, it becomes a slideshow.
Yeah.
At certain points when the gorillas show up.
Yeah, it becomes everything drops to like 4 frames per second. It's wild. Just for 1 or 2 shots though with the things. And apparently they put a lot of work into making the guys, like making the monkeys, and they just didn't shoot them properly. And everybody that worked on them was like,
does not show.
Yeah, everybody that worked on them was like, you fucked it up. They were supposed to look cool. And they're like, yeah, we forgot to do that part cool.
Oh, man.
We're too busy.
Originally they were going to do CGI for the gorillas.
Yeah.
But the technology was not there. And, good on them for recognizing that.
I know. Yeah, that is so funny if they watch Jurassic Park and went, we should do that. Gorillas can't be harder than dinosaurs. Gorillas are real. They're over there. Like, it's easy to find them and like, yeah, we'll just do gorillas. And then somebody tried that and it looked bad because of their skin and stuff. I was like,
because of the hair specifically just looked really, really bad, which you can see if you watch Beast Wars. You can see like it's not what a gorilla looks like at all.
Yeah,
like the dinosaurs you can kind of get away with, like that's a cartoony dinosaur. You get the gorilla, you're like, that's not what those are.
Yeah,
it was a great great movie.
Yeah, perfect movie. No notes.
I'm even more curious. Not more curious, but I guess I'm a little bit like, okay, so the one guy goes in there to get his gorilla, to free his gorilla. That's all he wants.
Yes.
He could just drop his gorilla off at any point. Not like at any point, but like when it finds gorillas. If that happened, he would be good.
I think they also have this vague notion of Amy talking to the other gorillas and seeing if they can get anything with that.
Right. That makes sense.
And also, like I said, at the point where he decides, like, okay, I'm out, it's like, what do you think out looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Very true.
Yeah, this movie. I mean, I do have a wheel. we're gonna
like on the truck that they take to get out of the airport,
like on the truck that they take, like on
the landing gear of the planes.
Yeah, are there any like fun wheels? Probably not. Can't even think of one.
Like the. Trying to think if there's any technology wheels that she has.
Yeah.
Like, all right, quick, roll out my big wheel.
Well, yeah, it's not a wheel, but she does have her tent is like a little circle, and then she turns it into a big thing like that. We have that.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot the most important thing. I also don't have a wheel chunk for this, so I really got to mention now in the summary.
Okay.
At one point, Dylan Walsh has a leech on his dick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Laura Linney gives him the eyes like, oh my God.
I don't know. I think her eyes are like, this fucking loser. And I'm like,
yeah,
what are you in for? What's your... And that's the thing. You watch this movie or you hear about this movie, I guess. Well, I mean, when you watch it, you get this sense too. But you hear someone describe this movie and you're like, oh, so they like get together at the end, the single man and the single woman? No, there's no chemistry.
Not
It
really.
just doesn't really happen. Yeah.
And they embrace after they find Bruce Campbell's body. And I'm like, here it is. This
Yeah, but that's like you're sad, a person died thing. It's very like...
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
So...
It's very much like she would have hugged him. Like if Monroe was there, she would have hugged him.
And she should have, because he was cool. Monroe was awesome and dope.
He was cool.
And this guy sucked. But yeah, the Monroe... Yeah, it is so weird how much parts of this are like Jurassic Park, but then they like just missed all the stuff,
Yeah.
It's like
totally with you.
Yeah, it's like the Toronto of Jurassic Parks. It's like, yeah, this looks like a city. Oh, where's the stuff? Oh, there's no stuff here. Nah, Toronto's cool. I like Toronto.
Super apparent.
Yeah.
Vicious.
I've been to Toronto a couple of times. Yeah. It's
all the time. Every time you had to film a movie.
That's right.
There in Vancouver.
That's right. Yeah.
And Atlanta.
And some soundstage in London or something. All the cool places everybody goes to. But yeah, I want to say, like, first of all, on the wheel, I spun the wheel again. Landon, I want to mind.
Again for the first time?
Again for the first time. And this one just says, hey, maybe that's just an eye. This might have been my biggest thing with this movie in the beginning of the movie. It's such a tenuous, like this whole thing is built on this giant conspiracy of like, she has an eye picture that she's drawing, and the statue has an eye on it, and the ring has an eye on it, and it's Solomon's eyes, right? Because that's what it is. It's like Solomon's mines or something.
Yes,
it's sort of Solomon's mines. Yeah,
and like when they say this, when the first character that says this, they're like, look, she's making the eye, and that means that this is the same thing as my ring. And other characters are like, that's not true. I'm like, usually in these movies, I tend to agree with the character that has the weird little thing. But now I'm like, yeah, that's an insane leap to make, buddy. Eyes are things people have. She could see your eyes and want to draw them. Also, the Solomon eyes don't look interesting. Like, they just look like, when we find them, it's just eyes. Like, it's such an arbitrary decision to make that the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
So weird.
But also, it's weird that that's the thing that he hears about and latches onto for, like, they found the city. When the other plot is people found the diamonds from the city.
Yeah.
And are going to the precise location that they have from technology where they found the diamonds from that city.
Yeah.
So the fact that Amy knows where it is pretty much totally irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, so this is kind of a thing. We haven't really talked about this, but like this legend of King Solomon's mines is like a old-timey pop culture thing, akin to the City of Gold or whatever, like one of those things.
Oh, I'm not sure it was ever, like, anyone ever thought it was real.
Oh, sure.
The first reference I can find to it is from a book from the 1800s in the Alan Quatermain series.
Yeah. The main character from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Sean Connery's guy.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
So I think it was always like a made up thing, but it was a thing that got, like, this story got adapted a bunch. People kind of like used the base. It's sort of the prototypical, like, ancient lost city full of cool stuff, but actually also dangerous in fiction.
Gotcha. Did you know that going into this, or did you find out about this when you read about the movie like I did?
About King Solomon's Mines?
Yeah, about this whole legend and like the Quartermain, all that stuff.
I looked stuff up for the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, so like
I've heard of the book, but yeah, I didn't really know that much about it.
Super like thing to make your movie about. And like it'd be like if mummies weren't popular and they made The Mummy. You'd be like, people are supposed to know what this is, but it's all of it is lost on me. You know? It's weird.
I mean, the whole like jungle adventure thing used to be a big genre in movies, but I mean in like the 40s and 50s.
And apparently
like, it was a while ago.
And apparently this was something that Sean Connery was supposed to be in, and they just started making it in like the 70s or something, and they kept not being able to do it or whatever. But like, yeah, I can see this being a product of a long, you know, not even that long, but like long enough that that thing has faded out of the cultural relevance, and now people don't talk about it anymore.
But also, Michael Crichton hadn't written the book in the 70s, so...
Oh, is that right?
How is that possible?
Yeah, I think maybe it was like a similar story about King Solomon's Mines, like an adaptation that the director wanted to make. I read this in the thing and it made sense, but you're right. I knew he hadn't, because I think he wrote this book really soon after he, or like they come pretty close to each other, the book and the movie. So it must not be the book. It must be that like it was that they were going to make the movie that was kind of this, and then they made it like it just didn't end up happening. Let me see. But yeah, it's weird that Sean Connery played that character in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, though. That was cool.
I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
Really did.
And yeah, everyone loved it, especially Sean Connery.
Okay. I got the thing now. All right, so I was a little off. I was confused, but I was close. Michael Crichton originally conceived Congo as a vehicle for Sir Sean Connery after working with him on The Great Train Robbery in 1978. He envisioned it as a modern-day version of King Solomon's Mines, with Connery playing a character akin to Alan Quartermain. Crichton's insistence on having a real gorilla play Amy stalled the project. It remained on the back burner for over a decade. Connery ended up playing Alan Quartermain in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So that's kind of what it was, which is different, but still insane. Like,
also, I guess he gave up on that demand, huh?
So I think that was all over the IMDb trivia, was what Amy was supposed to be, and like how they like, I don't know, had to go back and forth on that.
Yeah, because I'm not sure there's ever been a less real gorilla on screen than this one, except maybe the other gorillas in the movie.
Oh yeah, it's rough.
And like, yeah, this was like such a big deal. The Amy, like it was their big cool CGI dinosaur eating the truck. You know, like that was their moment, and it worked. We all liked it. Remember the first time you saw Amy for the first time and you were like, whoa, incredible.
Great. What a great ape.
Like the grape ape from Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going for. Hey, something about Amy is interesting. So, well,
there's something about Amy, you're saying?
Something about Amy.
It's like something about Mary.
Oh, did they have that scene in this movie?
That should be in there.
I hope I'm not jumping like wheel slices, but her like...
I guess that's the same one as the leech dick scene.
Yeah.
Amy's arm sign language thing.
Yeah, the power glove.
It's interesting that we're doing this as a direct preview to Kong, because Kong has one of those.
Yes,
right.
That's true.
It seems like they're just.
It has to be from this, right? It has to be.
In my canon, it is.
I mean,
God damn it!
I totally forget what happens in the first one of those, like but the most recent Godzilla Kong movie. I kind of assumed it was just a cast originally, because like, does he break his arm at the end of it or something? But then,
I thought it was just to give more punches.
I mean, I don't think that's why they built it, right? Like, or maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know where we're at in that franchise. If there's a guy being like, let's give it a big punch, or if we have to be like, let's make it this cast, and the cast turns into a big punchy thing at the end, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Like how campy are the Godzilla movies, and aware are they of themselves?
That's a good question.
I don't know yet, but we'll find out soon.
Yeah, you're goddamn right we will.
But yeah, the Amy is bizarre. Yeah, another Amy question. That scientist, it's fucking that gorilla, right? That's what's happening there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. I think
their relationship is unhealthy.
So much, it's sexual tension between those two, like characters in this movie is. Even though she calls him mommy a couple times, it's one of the sex things, I think.
Yeah.
That's a sex thing. It's like he's like her dummy mom.
Exactly. And she, you know, they seem very happy. It's very bad. They shouldn't be doing it, but it's working out for them. I don't know.
I mean, there's multiple layers. I mean, human and animal, first of all.
Yep.
Research scientist and subject.
That's true.
Also bad. She's 7, so that's horrible.
Wait, what is that in ape years? What is that in ape years?
Well, let's see. How long do gorillas live?
I'm going to say probably not super long, but like maybe 30 seems long. 20 years? Is that realistic?
38 years.
Wow.
All right. So I guess double it. If you doubled it, she'd only be 14. So,
but they often live longer in captivity, sometimes for over 50 years.
Oh, wow. Then she really, oh man. All right. Nope.
Yeah.
Not
DJ, you
good.
were on board before, but now you're like, I draw
have
the
more
line.
Information now. All right.
I need to see
it.
Like, I can forgive bestiality and, bad power dynamics, but I draw the line at pedophilia.
Yeah, I need a scene where Dr. Peter Elliott whips out a piece of paper that has the rules of conversion between ape years and human years that could prove that the ape is of age.
And also, the relationship started before he was of age, so therefore it's okay. It's the Romeo and Juliet laws.
Yes.
You monster.
Oh, man.
Monster.
It's a real monster society who doesn't let that love continue, you know? That's what I'm always saying.
That's what Bill Maher taught me.
Bill. God. Oh, man, you guys, there's so many posters for Bill Maher in California. There were billboards, whole billboards that are just him looking at the billboard.
That's why they're called billboards, right?
That's
because they're for Bill Maher primarily.
That's right. Yeah.
Maher boards, yeah.
And we're all bored watching it. I mean, you guys are. I'm loving it. Having a great time. They're super touchy and feely, and that's probably why they have the main guy has no sexual chemistry with Laura Linney. Is every time he's about to, the ape shows up and is like, "Hey, she sucks though, right?" And I'm like, and he's like, "Yeah, absolutely. No, let's go over here. Let's get in our tent alone. Goodbye."
Yeah, and then she's like, "Tickle me," and he's like,
"Oh, God damn it, guys.
I'll tickle you, all right."
Also, okay, I don't know a whole lot about apes. Apes in captivity, right? They're still like apes. If you go like tickle it, it'll like, I guess these people treat it like it's like a guy in a gorilla suit, I guess. But like, there's one line that I couldn't believe where, you know what? I'm going to spin the wheel and we got to it. Oh, it's DJ's monkey skydiving.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So as they're, and I can't remember the countries because, I'm not Diggins. But what they're going from where to where? Remind me, Diggins.
I'm not 100% positive on this. I believe it was Zaire to Tanzania.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So they're making that hop, and basically they're getting shot at by Tanzanians with RPG because they're invading the airspace. Which fair? I guess I don't disagree.
They should have planned for that.
They are trying to illegally enter this country. And I mean, I don't think that people who are illegally entering a country should be shot down with rockets, which I understand is a far left radical position in American politics today.
Apparently, yeah.
But, in a country in the midst of what seems like a civil war, I guess I can see why that would happen.
So, because they're getting shot at, they have to basically abandon the airplane. And so I guess that, what was the name of, Ghostbusters character?
Ernie Hudson.
Monroe.
Monroe.
Hudson's character. Monroe.
Monroe,
I guess is able to foresee this is about to happen. So he gives the monkey a fucking roofie banana.
Mm-hmm.
Also unethical.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But But the reason, Diggins, and is this unethical? The reason for the roofie banana is because they got to jump out of an airplane. And how are you going to get a gorilla to jump out of an airplane? By giving it a roofie banana and then just like carrying out with your parachute, just jumping out of the plane. I don't know how much 7-year-old female gorillas weigh, but I hope that parachute was able to support a lot of extra weight that it wasn't anticipated for.
I was thinking that at the time. I was like, this gorilla weighs hundreds of pounds easily.
And like,
there's no way.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson's just like, that's not a problem. This is fine. They're really gonna worry about it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Do you remember the line? Do you remember what Ernie Hudson says to Dr. Peter Elliott as they land, or once they landed?
I do not.
So I don't remember the line that leads into this, but it's something to the effect of like, "How was Amy?" And Ernie Hudson says like, "She's got a real bite to her," or something like that. Remember that line?
Yeah. He mentioned it because she woke up halfway down.
And what did she bite? His dick off? Like, we don't see any parts of him bitten. I'm so confused about this. He says that, but he doesn't show us his arm or like a missing ear. What did she bite, dude? Like, I think that's what happened. And he's being really cool about it because he doesn't want everybody to know that's what he was trying to do on the airplane.
If that is what happened, he was real casual about it.
I mean, that's Captain Monroe for you. He's just cool as a cucumber under every situation. That line, man, that line is really weird to me. I do think the people treat this gorilla like it's a person, to the point where, like, do you remember what happens when the gorilla gets in the plane for the first time?
I don't.
So they like just put it in a plane. Like when I saw this scene, I thought they were going to put it in the cargo hold or something in like a crate, whatever. They put it in like a seat, and then it looks out the window and starts freaking out a little bit. And the Elliot goes, "Don't worry about it. It's fine." It's just like, all right, gorilla, I guess you're just cool with this now. Like, it's still a gorilla, you guys. It's going to kill all of you.
Do you remember what helps calm her down?
I can't remember. What was it? More tickles?
She says she wants her green drink.
Oh,
and so he gives her
a
full-on olives on a toothpick martini.
Yep. She's able to have one. Just one, though.
Just one.
Oh my God, yeah. This relationship is not good. He's supplying the minor with alcohol, taking her across state lines.
To keep her pliable, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they got to get this gorilla away from this guy.
I mean, yeah, maybe that's why everybody was like, yeah, we actually probably should do this mission. It's because
I guess gorillas have at least one natural predator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's even a scene where, because in the middle of the movie, you're like, well, okay, maybe Laura Linney doesn't like actually love Bruce Campbell or something, or doesn't really care about him. I don't know. It doesn't. None of it works because, like, for her to be into Peter Elliott, she would have to know Bruce Campbell's dead for it to be like an ethical thing in the movie. But
I mean, I feel like they're trying to set up the possibility by stressing that they're not together anymore.
Right. There's a bit where
that just makes me think it's the action movie cliche of like, whoa, they're not together, but then this teaches them why they loved each other and they get back together.
Right. It's like Die Hard. Yeah. It's strange.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I interrupted you.
Oh, no. I was just saying in the end, they do this, or in the middle, they go camping and then they're like, they have a night where they're hanging out and, Laura Linney is now, and Dylan Walsh are like friends now. And I'm like, well, first of all, when did this happen? But whatever. And Ernie Hudson's like, it's a full moon, which means all the gorillas are fucking. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God,
and then
so good.
Every monkey thinks he's Elvis.
Yeah, that was cool.
Those are like the lines where it's like, oh, they were so close. Like if you had more of this.
What do you mean so close? This is perfect.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson is killing it in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
He says in this is another thing from the trivia. This is his favorite role, not Ghostbusters, not whatever else he's in. I feel like there's other stuff. What else is he known for?
Surely he's done more than 2 movies.
Is it the accent? Did he love doing the accent?
I think he just liked being a cool guy who was awesome. Like,
fair.
It does seem like it was probably a fun shoot.
Yeah. yeah, can you imagine being on set with all this shit? Just looking at it, I would wake up every day like I'm in the Willy Wonka experience. Just there's no fucking way they're gonna show this to people, though, right? No, of course not. we all have a little fun with it. But what was I gonna say? But then so he says that thing about Elvis. Dylan Walsh looks at Laura Linney and makes gorilla sounds at her, like he's gonna have sex with her, and she's like,
"What was
cool.
that shit?"
And then nothing. It just immediately leaves. Like,
I feel like he was he did the thing as like sort of trial balloon to be like, ha ha, funny joke if you're not into it, but if you are,
yeah.
I mean, and then she just kind of laughs like, ha ha, yeah, I'm going back to bed, and then he tries it again just in case,
yeah,
because he does it twice,
just in case, right? Because you never know.
I mean, listen, based on like what I was expecting her to do in that scene, I'm like, go for it, buddy. She is reacting way more positively. You told her she was ugly 10 minutes ago in the movie. You guys you're constantly calling her bullshit, and then you guys are chumming around like she should smack you. So if she doesn't smack you, I'm like, this is going really well. But I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have
that's my metric too. Whenever a woman doesn't slap me, I'm like, this couldn't be going better.
I'm killing it right now.
I'm just thinking maybe he doesn't have any game because he spent all his game on gorillas, like points. He doesn't know what it's like to flirt with a human woman.
He's used to pliable young gorillas who he can kind of mold into whatever he wants because he meets them at an impressionable age.
Monster. That's exactly what it is. True. Oh God. Yeah. I spun the wheel again. We kind of went out of order, but landed on one of Diggins's, which I do think is a good one, a fundamental misunderstanding of virtual reality. That's just like a thing to talk about in the movie.
Yeah. So I didn't, because I knew this was a thing that might come up on the wheel, I didn't mention it in the summary. When they're doing their presentation on like the cool technology that that is text to speech, which it's the Stephen Hawking technology, but actually like less impressive because that goes based off of his eye movements.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. This is just like translating sign language, which I don't know. Maybe that's harder. I don't really understand the technology well enough to say which one of those is harder. But I would think is a thing that is doable.
Yeah.
But anyway, every time they talk about it in this presentation, they say that they've managed to create it using virtual reality.
Mm-hmm.
Classic virtual reality.
That's not what that is.
Yeah.
Like it's not even really one of those ones where I'm like, I can see how you got there, but that is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Who decided that this is virtual reality?
Yeah.
What does the virtual and virtual reality mean in this situation?
Like virtual reality. You know, that makes sense, right? Like virtual.
Right. But what about in real life, wearing a glove and doing sign language is virtual?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not like in real life, but like in virtual reality, that's like virtual. That's what kind of virtual it is, you know? I think it makes sense. I do think that the virtual reality part of this, I almost wanted a scene where they went into the Matrix or something to like communicate with her. Nobody else thought that would happen at some point? They would like go into the Matrix and the gorilla would look and sound like a person and just be like, "Hi, I'm Amy. It's nice to see you." And then they'd kiss or something. Maybe.
I mean,
maybe that is happening in the movie and they cut it out because it's horrible. But like every night there's a scene like that where they go into virtual reality, put on their giant visors, and then
the first time they used it, she showed up as a person and he was like, "Amy?" She's like, "That's right, Dr. Elliot. Here I can be whatever you want me to be."
No, stop it. Oh.
Speaking of virtual reality, do you think related to that scene on the back of set, Joey Pants called up his good friends, both Wachowskis, and said, "It's me, your cousin, Joey Pants. I got that new technology movie idea you guys have been looking for." And then pointed the phone at
text to speech.
Yeah.
Well, listen to
laser beams. Yeah.
It's a monkey.
And they were both like, "Well, this doesn't seem right," but they said there was virtual reality, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
Fun fact, by the way, Joey Pants uncredited in this movie.
A lot of people uncredited in this movie.
Him and Delroy Lindo, both uncredited.
Bruce Campbell barely credited in this movie. You got to really search through the IMDb page to find him. I was convinced he was not in it until like I looked for a third time. But yeah, he's like at the bottom of the thing. It's so weird. And yeah, Delroy Lindo is in this movie. That's fun. We all like him now, and look at how good he is in it. His goodness.
Yeah, flawless victory.
Yeah, he was fun. He yells at Tim Curry.
Yeah. Tim Curry, man. What's going on here? I mean, we'll get to it. You know what? Because I spent a little again, landed on one of mine, Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious City of Jin. Do you think Tim Curry thought this accent was good? Or
no.
But like, why did he do it?
Because he read the script.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was told to.
But why is it?
No, because he read the script and was like, well, I mean,
yeah, that's possible. Just the fact that this character has no business being Romanian at all. It's not like Romanians are known for their guerrilla, expeditions or something. Unless they are, I don't know.
Do you think during the first table read when Tim goes, "Hello, pleasure to meet you," the director was like, not what I'm thinking exactly?
I mean,
actually, fun fact, DJ, most movies don't do table reads.
Well, then insert table read for whatever other thing that it could be. That, first day on set and Tim Curry does that shit. You think it's like a little bit of a head scratcher there? I mean, like is he? What are we doing?
Is he the biggest star in this movie at this point?
Ooh,
probably, right?
This is post Ghostbusters, post Busters. But like, I could make an argument for Ernie Hudson.
I guess you could.
But Tim Curry's like, I feel Ernie Hudson is a star, of course. But Tim Curry, we're coming off like Muppet Treasure Island. Oh no, this is before Muppet Treasure Island. That always makes a big difference.
And like Rocky R was like a cult hit. He wasn't like making him a huge star.
Yeah, now I'm looking at like, what's the thing he had done before this that people would have seen? The Sonic the Hedgehog TV series.
Who was he in that?
He played King Acorn and Keeper of the Time Stones. The Time Stones.
Oh, he was Sonic Saddam.
He was in The Shadow. We've never done The Shadow. The Shadow's a weird movie. Shadow came out the same a year before this. God, what is he famous for? Like narrating Home Alone 2, maybe? And he's the concierge in Home Alone 2. That's right.
Yeah.
So what did he narrate? Oh, I guess they made like the DVD or something.
Clue?
Yeah, Clue.
The Hunt for Red October?
Fern Gully, a couple of years before this.
Fern Gully.
That was pretty good. I remember that was kind of a hit. I saw that when I was
The Three Musketeers, I think, was pretty big for him.
Yeah, I want to say, I think even though Ernie Hudson did Ghostbusters, I think Tim Curry was probably a guy that was a bigger deal. I just think, I don't know, maybe it's that people knew Tim Curry and were like psyched about Tim Curry. And for that reason, I think he was just able to do whatever he wanted on set. Like showed up, do his accent, and nobody was going to say no. But I'm glad they didn't. It was great.
Oh, like, hell yeah.
He was doing an accent like he was appearing on this podcast. Every so often it would disappear. And you'd go, oh, okay, so this character's actually a British guy doing an accent. And really early, Ernie Hudson is like, someone says something like, this is whatever, I forget this character's name.
Herkimer Holcoma.
Romanian.
Homolka.
Right, yeah. This is Hercule Homolka, Romanian expedition guy or something. Philanthropist, right. And then Ernie Hudson says, he's Romanian, but he's no philanthropist. And I was like, he's not Romanian either, I'm sure, right? But you seem to know, so I guess he is. I don't know, man. Like, and it's such a silly made up name too, that you're like, yeah, that's just something he put together like right before they met.
It's made up and also not remotely Romanian.
Yeah.
As a name.
Yeah, like there's part of me that like is envisioning a version of this movie where like this character's Dracula the whole time or something. And he's trying to find the laser beam stone so nobody else can use it to kill him. But
Right, because the laser is like concentrated sunlight, so it can destroy him instantly.
It's his one weakness.
He would be able to take over the world were it not for the laser. But Ernie Hudson is the other side of that one. I don't know. Ernie Hudson also has a pretty preposterous accent in this movie, but it's totally overshadowed by Tim Curry, so you don't really notice.
I liked Ernie Hudson's accent. I thought it was kind of cool.
I liked them both. I thought they were both great. I think Ernie Hudson's was cool. It was really weird though. Like, and it was again like completely unnecessary. None of these characters.
Does he really have does Ernie Hudson have an accent, or does he just have a really affected way of speaking in this movie?
It changed
because he kind of just says everything like this.
Sometimes he does, but I feel like other times he brings a British accent. No,
yes, a little more proper.
Yeah, he gets a little bit British, just enough that I'm like, this character also has a secret. Or him and Tim Curry working together? What's going on? And
if I came on the podcast and like maybe I was a little more fancy with my speech, you'd be like, oh, maybe DJ's doing a thing. But if I was a little more British, you'd be like, oh, I think DJ may have that brain injury where you go into a coma and come out with a different accent that you've never had before.
Yeah. What is that brain injury?
My conspiracy theory is that I don't think that's real. I think there's just sometimes a person goes into a coma and wakes up and is like, we'll try something different.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that was what Ernie Hudson's character was doing that day. He was like, I'm bored with all these people taking him through the Congo. I always wanted to do it as a British guy. Let's see if they notice. And then he went for it.
I mean, that might have been what happened.
Yeah. He's pretty good in this. I do like him. Who's your favorite guy in it? Is it him or Tim Curry?
It's him over Tim Curry.
Really?
Yeah, because like, I don't know what Tim Curry brings to the table, honestly. I think he's actually kind of weak sauce in this.
I mean, the character is kind of pointless, but every time he's like, I am Romanian philanthropist. I'm traveling around the world doing good things. I'm like, this rules. I love this. It's like, you ever see that cutscene from, I think it's one of the Red Alert games where Tim Curry is also playing a Russian?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like a really specific sounding guy too. Like, yeah, it's just such a, he's so good.
I'm Nigel Thornberry.
Right. And he does a lot of accents and other stuff and it usually works kind of or whatever, but yeah, it doesn't work here, but it works by not working. And yeah, he like drops this accent constantly, like line to line. He goes right back to Tim Curry, and you're like...
And you hear it. And I was waiting for the con where this guy was, like, pretending to be Romanian because it was helpful for some stupid reason. That's what I was waiting for.
Especially because everything he was doing made no sense, but, like, he was only lying to these people because he was embarrassed, it seems like.
Yeah.
They didn't want him to use his wonderful research and like stuff. They just wanted his money to go to the the Congo. I'm getting our weeks of movies confused.
Of course.
It's the Congo right before he died. But they wanted his money for that. It wasn't like he was supposed to be a guide or something. So
right.
Yeah, at the end, and Ernie Hudson knows all this stuff about him. So in the end, when Ernie Hudson is like, you're not a real guy, you're actually just some crackpot who thinks there's the secret city of Jin or whatever. And then he's like, yes, I am, but that is just what I believe. You're like, but what else? Like, what's the rest of it? That you're from the British government or you're a secret gorilla man? Like, what is what's the backstory that makes this part important? There's nothing.
Secret Gorilla Man's a solid, like, cover con,
I mean, like, I didn't know this for a fact going in, but I knew there was a lot of weird stuff about this movie, including some of the gorilla designs were supposed to be people, kind of. Like the monster gorillas were supposed to, some of them had human faces, and it was supposed, I know. You couldn't see it because they didn't light it well, but they put a lot of work into making those guys. And part of me was like, oh, maybe that's what it is like he's like one of the ancestors of the guys that made them, and I don't know. None of it makes any sense.
Wait, so if they have were they like human gorilla crossbreeds? Like, what was the idea?
I think that's the idea. I think they were supposed to be human gorilla crossbreeds.
So much like the Indominus Rex, they become more vicious and aggressive by having human DNA.
That's right. It's let me see if I can find the actual thing, because it's very specific. Apparently they're called the Greys. And yeah. Okay, yeah. Here we go. So this is from someone that worked, Amy Winston, or excuse me, Amy. Oh, in addition to Amy, Stan Winston Studio. So that's the studio that made this, that did all these apes. Says, Greg Feigl, for example, sculpted an amazing gray gorilla that was a combination of a man's face, a chimp's face, and a gorilla's face. I based mine off the features of a gorilla and a chimp, and they came up with an interesting paint job to make it look as if my gorilla had vitiligo, the pigment disease that discolors the skin. But because they didn't light them properly, no one could see them. So yeah.
I'll be.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is weird.
Also, if I noticed any human traits in them, I would have been like, well, that's because they're people in suits.
Right, yeah, they forgot to put the mask on that guy. Oh, well.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's hard to get all the details. I get it. But yeah, Hercule Homunca. He's pretty cool.
He is very cool. Yeah, he gets his skull crushed by a gorilla because he moved 20 feet away to pick up the diamonds that are just on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the diamonds part. So by that point in the movie, nothing matters. And they're just kind of, are they going to get eaten by the gorillas or not? But yeah, grab a diamond or something, especially on your way out when you've lasered all the gorillas in half. They're still sitting on the floor, I assume. Take them.
It would have been cool if Tim Curry was a secret monkey man who like was able to like at some point like communicate with, or like at the end like fight the monkeys. I know that sounds insane, but I would have enjoyed it.
I would have.
Was it more insane than the laser beam that cuts the gorillas in half?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what levels of insanity are we even talking about at this point?
Yeah. Speaking
Just
of that,
different degrees of crazy.
I spun the wheel, landed on one of Diggins' Amy's internalized misogyny. Let's talk about Amy the gorilla. Weird.
So Amy, first of all, something that's never explained or given any purpose, hates women.
Yeah.
Hates human women, is jealous of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have to imagine that this is part of the whole fucked up relationship between Dr. Elliot is his name, I think, and Amy, where she's constantly afraid that he'll grow bored of her and leave her for a human woman. So she feels like she has to insult and take down every human woman she meets.
She don't want to lose her man.
Pretty much.
Blame her?
Yeah. And he's such a catch.
That's true.
Well, listen, she's been indoctrinated and brainwashed by this man since she was a young ape. We can't blame her for, what she thinks.
Oh, I'm more blaming the movie for like this guy being like the hunky guy. And it's like, he's not though, right? But then I'm like, maybe in the 90s this was the deal. But like, you cannot put this guy up next to Sam Neill or, Jeff Goldblum, obviously, and be like, we're going for the same thing. But this guy had to do a lot of work to be the cool hunky guy.
Well, maybe that's what's cool and hunky to gorillas. I don't know.
Maybe.
Diggs doesn't have monkey taste.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't put myself in the mindset of a gorilla looking for a mate. It's not my experience. But yeah, so she, as soon as she meets Laura Linney's character, she's just like, ugly woman, stinky, bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think at any point in there's no point in the movie where she like warms up to Laura Linney or they become friends.
Nope.
I can't imagine at the end of the movie, after she saw Laura Linney laser all the gorillas in half, she's like, lady pretty, lady good.
I mean,
laser gorillas.
I mean, maybe she is saying that just because she's like, if I say lady pretty, she won't laser me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even want to be friends with Laura Linney? I find her to be pretty flat.
You're going to say, do you want to be friends with the gorilla?
I mean, I don't really want to be friends with the gorilla.
No. I think
it seems annoying.
I don't want to be friends with Laura Linney, but I'll never trust her after what she did to Truman in The Truman Show, my favorite movies. But I think she's yeah, she's not super interesting in this, but I like that she is secretly fucking James Bond or something. It's kind of underwritten in her character, as like every time, you know, you see her, just think she's doing James Bond stuff, or she's about to do some James Bond stuff, but she can't.
It is kind of for the time in which it was made, it is a kind of interesting thing about this movie where, like, neither of them really have like a good reason other than the CIA justification given later for like being cool action stars. But for some reason, the movie chose the woman to be the cool action star instead of the man.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's kind of interesting from a historical perspective, just because I don't imagine a lot of 90s movies were making that call.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's interesting. Does anybody shoot a gun in the Jurassic Park movie, the first one? Probably not, right?
The hunter guy.
Right. Yeah. None of the main characters, though, like shoot a dinosaur.
No, because there are people who love dinosaurs. They don't want to kill them.
Yeah. Did you guys think at any point near the end of this movie, maybe the Amy was just going to befriend the monkeys and that would be the end of it? You know, like I kind of did.
I didn't get those vibes.
Like,
I mean, I also, I went in knowing that it ended with her laser beaming a bunch of gorillas. So
what a horrible thing to have spoiled for you, Diggins.
Yeah.
It's so cool to just like learn about.
I mean, it's still ruled when because she has a Bond one-liner for it too. Because
yeah,
it's like, she powers up the laser and is like going to go out, and Ernie Hudson's like, what are you going to do about those gorillas? And she just like pulls the laser out and is like, put him on the endangered species list.
Yeah.
And she lasers them all in half. It fucking rules.
Yeah, it's funny actually now that I think about it, because like she gets that thing, and I'm like, it's a fucking Ghostbuster pack, right? We've turned this into that so that Ghostbuster can have it, and that's what you would get today for sure. There's no way you would not make that movie, and the guy famous for the thing wouldn't pick it up and like stand right like quietly for everybody to clap. And then start blasting monkeys with his laser beam.
Oh my god, he picked up Thor's hammer. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then like Bill Murray would be watching it on like a laptop and go, "What?" or something. I forget what happens if
he would come in. It's like, I'm about to help save you with basketball, Michael Jordan. I'm gonna face the Monstars.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Do everything.
He was busy. Yeah, he was busy during this. Otherwise, he probably would have gotten that role.
Busy with Space Jam.
Yeah. I spun the wheel again, landed on another one of Diggins, a very sensitive depiction of African politics. Yeah.
Yeah, did they crush it, Diggins?
Good.
The second they get there, there's a coup and a civil war that kicks off where Ernie Hudson's like, yeah, they're probably going to kill all the foreigners pretty much right away.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to want to not be seen. Now, is there instability in many African countries? Sure. As a legacy of colonialism, you know, they don't have strong government institutions that prevent corruption and, backsliding into authoritarianism. And partly that's also because of ongoing colonialism.
Any certain agencies responsible for some of that in the United States specifically?
Any ones that gather intelligence in some sort of central location?
Yeah, they centralize the intelligence, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
That would have been interesting if Laura Linney was like, everybody was like, it's her, and she was like, shh. She was here last week. No, that's a different person.
There's a little bit of that with Delroy Lindo's character, where true. She's like, we had nothing to do with your government being toppled, and he's like, aren't you in the CIA?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it really, it's that thing where it's like, it's not based on nothing, but it's what you choose to emphasize about what's happening here, where I'm like, right away, the first thing that happens when they get to an African country, I don't know, guys. I feel like we could have been a little better.
And absolutely the first thing, too. Like, the first fucking thing.
Yeah, like, they get off the plane, and then the plane explodes or something.
They don't even leave the tarmac. It's not even they don't leave the airport. The airport is 30 feet. The airplane they got off of is 30 feet away.
I am a tiny bit confused about this, though. So they're in this country that just got overturned by a coup, right?
Well, a coup just got launched, but they didn't kill the president, so he wasn't successful.
Right.
So it's the middle of like a Civil War power struggle thing.
So a lot of like coup adjacent stuff is happening here, and like it's like, oh, they're gonna kill you and stuff. Why is Joey Pants here?
Make that paper.
Yeah, Travacom hired him to be like a fixer.
But like, is he gonna be okay? I can't remember. Do we see him killed in this?
No, we see him again.
Oh, okay.
He shows up to drop off more supplies after they get to Tanzania, I think.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. We spun the wheel landed on Joey Pants. His inclusion in this movie was quite strange. If for not besides the fact that he has an earring. I didn't hate it though. I think it worked for him. It was just like,
he does have an earring.
What a choice.
But it's also like, why is Joey Pants here? Why are they not simply met by Ernie Hudson?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, maybe it's for the touch of realism where it's like, a lot of times what you would do in this sort of situation is you have like a guy with foreign contacts like Joey Pants who you hire, who knows the situation on the ground and like puts the stuff together for you because he knows it better. And like, you can't, and you know, like Ernie Hudson's character doesn't have like a fucking Craigslist ad up. You know, you need guys who know stuff. So, like, maybe it's for the realism of that, but in terms of movie making, there's no reason it shouldn't be Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
was he just, like, on the lot that day and was like, yeah, I could do it. I could put on a Hawaiian shirt and do this role.
Maybe originally he was supposed to be the Ernie Hudson character, and his accent was so bad that they were like, we actually have to have somebody else do this. You can be in a little bit of the movie Joey Pants, but we're going to hire a completely different person to do this role. And then they added that one line that I feel like, I can't remember what the line was. There was some line. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I don't.
So like, I'm your white whale hunter or something.
I'm your great white hunter, except I happen to be black. Right.
So that line was originally, I'm your great white hunter, Italian, American, Joey Pants. Like, that's me, white as can be. As white as they get, baby. But then they changed it as a subtle nod to the fact that he is not that character anymore.
They begrudgingly changed the line about being white, Italian, and Joey Pants once someone who wasn't Joey Pants was cast. Yeah.
It's like a fun little thing, you know, for people that are in the know. They had to keep themselves busy, you know, on set.
Call out.
Only a couple other things here, but we're at the end of the movie. So I spun the wheel again, landed on world's easiest mining operation. What is this mining operation?
Yeah, so this is supposedly an ancient mine, right? Like the civilization of Zinj mined diamonds here. And train guerrillas to guard it. I guess one could say when they get to what's supposed to be the mine, it has some quarry-like properties.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's a sand pit that just has diamonds stuck in it. Like, not even buried. They're just resting on top of the sand.
Yeah, and you're like, is it a trap? Is that what this is? But
did the gorillas set a trap for greedy people?
And it's not like the gorillas let the other guys go because they go steal the diamonds. Everybody's, you know, gorilla food after that scene.
Yeah, and it's not like picking up the diamonds. The movie tries to imply that picking up the diamonds attracted the gorillas, but again, they were tracking and trying to kill them to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that if they left the diamonds alone, the gorillas would not have shown up. Especially because these caves seem to be where they live.
What did they eat?
Other gorillas.
Yeah.
There used to be more of them. That makes sense.
Incestuous, cannibalistic
No, not their own. Other gorillas.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Other species of gorilla.
Oh,
That makes
okay.
sense. Like
Yeah,
the
sure.
ones
We
that Amy's
even
hanging
at
out
one
with.
point, we even find at one point a big pile of other gorilla bones.
That's
remember?
right. We do find those.
Right. Savage, man. That's savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's messed
Heartless
up.
bastards. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That part of the set was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. By that point,
It really felt like, because they, for the most part, like, I mean, they filmed on location in Costa Rica, but even the stuff that's like matte paintings and sets and stuff looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that the non-gorilla based effects are not bad. But then we get to this mine and it's like, it was the last day of shooting and they're like, shit guys, we don't have time.
More money. All resources have been tapped.
Yeah. So just buy a bunch of glass beads and just throw them into this. We bought up a couple bags of sand. So throw that on the floor and then toss a few glass beads on top. And that's the mine.
It'll work out.
Like there's simply no way in which this could even remotely be called a mine. It hasn't been worked at all. Which you would think if they were mining them, there would be, like a shaft, and like evidence of them having like carved out tunnels and such where they had to get to the specific deposits. But they're just there.
They're just out there.
It's not even deep. I don't think I properly conveyed this. It's not even like this is like a deep in the heart of like they're in a cave and like looking by torchlight or whatever. This is on the surface.
Yeah.
There's open sky above them.
Yeah, actually. Wait, there is open sky above them. What the
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Yeah.
Was that a way in that they didn't take?
I mean, I think it's supposed to be like a crevice in the mountain, so it's not like it would have been easy to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like an underground mine. It's the surface of this mountain.
It's so weird. Remember when they killed a friend? The guy who's like from True Lies?
Yeah. That was the one who was like taking care of Amy the whole time. The little crybaby.
Yeah, the
The
one
research
who, like,
assistant?
Yeah.
When
The
he
one
was
who
like,
the one who gets his brain torn out?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and the one who's like, wait, does his brain get torn out? I thought he runs and then collapses.
Yeah, that a gorilla throws his brain at them.
No, he throws another head at them. Different head.
Oh.
No, well, it might be a different thing, but it is a brain, DJ.
How would he be able to run to them with no brain?
I mean, it might be a different person's brain, but it is a brain that gorilla throws.
Because when that guy dies, he dies surrounded by some other guys. They're part of it. But I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Now that you mention it, I wonder what that is supposed to be. Kind of going through it now.
Yeah, I'm double checking. I'm so certain it's a brain.
Yeah, no, it's probably a brain, but I was trying to figure out how that guy ran right to him full force. I mean, he did die right after, so maybe it was a delayed brain reaction. Maybe you could run without a brain for a little bit.
Yeah, like that headless chicken that they had.
Yeah.
Maybe they left the brain stem in, so he still had some like motor functions.
They're pretty cool, these guys, about him being dead, though. That was kind of what I did think. For the guy who didn't do anything wrong, he got fucked by this movie.
Yeah.
No, he said that guy had a weird name for being from whatever country.
Yeah.
Mombasa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's like, Claude, that's not a Mombasa name. I should know.
But he gets immediately called out. Where he's like, "You ever been to Mombasa? No. How would you know?
Yeah.
Huh? How would you know?"
That's what he does wrong. That's what he does wrong. Should have done that.
Yeah.
Should have done that.
Yeah, it is weird that the movie did that to kind of be like, sorry, that this guy's going to get his head ripped off. Don't worry about it. It's all fine.
Yeah.
He deserves it. But also, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, man. It is a head. I spent my whole life thinking it was a brain.
Ha-ha.
Wow.
Ha-ha.
Wow.
I'm a genius. Or
I prefer my version of reality where the gorilla throws a brain at him.
I mean, it is a better one, so I get it.
I'm going to continue believing that the gorilla throws a brain. I'm just going to purge this from my memory.
Okay.
It is weird that it's the guy dies because he was torn apart by a gorilla, but then dies in the random scared to death way where a lot of these guys die.
Yeah.
It's so freaking weird. but then like he just throws an unassociated head like right. The gorilla throws an unassociated head right after. It's a little strange.
So was that part of the ancient civilization training to rip out an opponent's body part and throw it at their friends?
Yeah, I think
because they
so.
do it with the eye at the beginning of the movie, then they do it with the brain here.
Right, but with the eye, you
with the
figure
head.
with the eye, you figure it's because of the symbolism or whatever with the eye in this. But now it's like with the head, it's just like whatever we could get our hands on, we threw at you guys.
Okay,
Wow.
so do the gorillas, like the dragon at the end of Game of Thrones, understand symbolism?
Absolutely.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
They do that because it's the same way they what's the movie where everybody makes fun of them for this? I don't know. I guess like some of the Jurassic Park movies have these moments where like they all just circle the guys for no reason until it's convenient, and then they just all charge them at once. And like I know sometimes animals do that, but these ones really do have a little bit more like let's fuck with them, guys. Let's do scary gorilla sounds, and then we'll jump out at once. But speaking of that, last thing about the gorillas, I spun the wheel, bringing a knife to a gorilla fight, and then bringing something else to the gorilla fight. But first, the knife. There's a knife.
So the Ernie Hudson second in command, who has a name, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is the
Who's to
last person to die in the movie, as they're fighting the gorillas after Tim Curry dies. And he, so they've all got their big guns, and he's shooting his big guns. But then the gorillas knock the guns out of his hand, so he pulls out a big knife.
Yeah.
To fight the gorillas. And that works for about 2 seconds before a gorilla knocks that out of his hands also. And then he goes to get it, and a gorilla picks it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that's the end of that. But I was so ready for a gorilla to start using a knife.
Yeah. Well, have you heard the one really weird thing about this movie?
Just the one?
Well, okay. The one like thing that people, I think the one thing about this movie culturally that seems to have made it out is, and at least this was true about it, but I'd heard this about it before. There's a point. You guys remember the scene where the gorilla picks up the laser beam and fires it?
That doesn't happen.
Exactly. But everybody that saw well, not everybody, but a lot of people that saw the movie in theaters swear that there's a scene where a gorilla picks up a laser beam and shoots it at somebody. But everybody
I saw that scene.
Everybody else is like, no, that's not in the movie. But it's like it's unclear. No one seems to know if this was ever in the movie or maybe a trailer or what. Because
I did come across this in my reading things about the movie before the podcast. As far as can be told, this is a Berenstein Bears thing where people just sort of misremembered something. Like a lot of people misremember something, and it sort of became an article of faith. And then when we became able to fact check it and it turned out to be wrong, people just can't accept that their memories don't work right. And so they've tried to look for evidence, but there is none because that never happened.
Who are you to say people's memories are wrong, sir?
Mm-hmm.
I don't accept that.
As someone who until 5 minutes ago could have sworn that gorilla throws a brain, it happens.
Yeah.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
It should have happened though, right? At some point. Maybe, I don't know if it would have been too much for Amy to pick it up and start lasering her own kind or whatever, but like that would have been pretty cool.
I would have been down with it.
Actually, that would have been fucking awesome. Is if the laser beam gets kicked away and then Amy picks it up and then somebody sign languages her like unleash hell or something, and then she just takes it and rips all their heads off. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would have been
my
awesome.
God, yeah. And then they'd be like, where did you learn that? And she'd be like, well, one of you guys was playing Doom at home, I think, or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is that, right? That's what you guys do?
Except, hold on. So nobody is there when we see Doom except for the assistant and Amy, who are painting.
Yeah.
But Doom is going. Someone is playing it.
It's that good. Well, that's because Dr. Elliot is in virtual reality playing in the Dune universe. That scene was, a lot of scenes were supposed to take place inside of Doom, but they lost it. They lost the disc, so they couldn't do it.
Damn.
It's a bummer.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Because they almost had it, but yeah, that would have been pretty cool, in fact. If they did that. But yeah, and then there's a laser beam. It's good that there's laser beam.
mean, we've talked about this so much where she lasers a bunch of gorillas in half. It's the best part of the movie.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
It's the best it's like the best single 6 seconds in the movie is she lasers a bunch of gorillas in half.
As watching it, I could not believe it. I was like, this
if you had to make one Vine using footage from Congo, you would do with the woman lasering gorillas.
Yeah. Yeah, where's Saltburn for this? Why hasn't this taken off on TikTok with the kids of Laura Linney picking up a laser gun and shooting gorillas? We'd like that, wouldn't we? Are the kids too cool for that? They might be. The
Gen Z, they're like, this is gorilla cruelty, actually.
Yeah. Bullshit. They couldn't get over the misogyny part earlier in the movie. So they like turned it off, and look what they missed. Gen Z. Very good arc. It was a good movie.
I bet they're also too busy on their dang phones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're doing their TikToks.
Yeah.
Making all those gorilla laser TikToks.
It's a good message about about importance and ecology and stuff, like laser beams and satellites. We learned about that. Fucking gorillas is bad, but I mean, the movie doesn't really punish him for it, but it is bad.
I was going to say, the movie seems to think fucking gorillas is neutral.
Yeah, that's more of it. I also think it's really funny. One other thing that I didn't really get at, they have that like Harry and the Hendersons moment where he's like has to get, it's not the same thing, but he has to let go of the gorilla and stuff. Amy, I think it's so funny how the movie keeps remembering like, oh, right, volcano. Real quick, let's look at the volcano. And they'll look and go, oh, we gotta go, buddy. And then it goes back to tender moment, and then it's like volcano again. Just a lot of stuff's going on today.
One interesting thing about that volcano, by the way, obviously there's a billion things geologically wrong about this movie and that setting of the movie in particular. The one thing a lot of people say, which is the appearance and speed of the lava when the volcano starts erupting, is actually correct. Normally, lava isn't that thin and doesn't move that quickly, but in that specific region of the planet, when the volcanoes in that region erupt, it does mix with kind of like mud and other like features nearby where it does get very thin and moves very quickly because of just like the geography of that area.
That makes sense.
So now it would certainly start melting gorillas well before they touched the lava, as is always true about lava in any movie it's in. It's very hot. It's hot before you touch the lava. But that specific thing that a lot of people criticize is actually correct.
Pretty cool.
Makes you think.
It does make you think.
Yeah, this movie was pretty cool. Do you think they could ever remake it or do anything with it?
I want to say no, but also we're getting a second Twister, so what do I know?
Yeah, and this movie made money. It wasn't like a huge hit, but like had a budget of $50 million, made about 150. So
it is considered a flop, just because it bombed really hard with critics.
Yeah,
like it's like in the Hollywood memory, it's considered like that famous bad movie no one liked. Because this is back at a time when if you made a movie that made a decent amount of money but nobody liked, you were like, wow, that still wasn't successful.
Yeah. It's like now it's like, no, actually. That Super Mario Brothers movie. We need 10 more of them, please. People like that movie. They were wrong too, but it was popular.
Yeah. DJ is a coward who goes with the wisdom of the crowd and says that it's good, but it's actually bad.
I am that.
But yeah, I don't know. This movie's weird,
but we like it.
We did like it.
Watch it with your buddies. Have a beer. You'll
have a martini. Have just one.
Yeah.
Everybody get your martinis out and toast with the gorilla when they get on the plane. That should be the drinking rule of this movie.
Have a martini and a roofie banana.
Yeah. Yeah, banana teeny. Why isn't it a banana teen? Just cracks a banana, puts it right in the middle of it or something. I don't know. That would be funny. Love that he brought the martini glass for it, though. That's pretty cool.
And the olives.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so extraneous.
Remember when it chucks an egg at her? That's pretty cool.
No, he gives her an egg and then she throws the egg at Laura Linney.
Right, that's what I mean. Oh, yeah, she chucks the egg, right, because it is Amy's. Amy's the girl monkey. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anything else about this one? Anything we forgot?
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a clip
Razor and
online.
Gorillas mostly covers it.
People should watch it just to hear Tim Curry's voice, because you won't believe it. It's really, really weird. Do you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah,
I
would love that.
So you guys want to recommend anything to the fine people?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it pretty basic this week. So I'm doing a called shot rec for something that will be out by the time this pod comes out, but isn't fully out at the time we're recording it, and that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second part of the Final Fantasy VII remake. That only us cool PS4 people can play. Diggins. PS5 players can play. Diggins, I saw your tweets.
Well, did you see all of them? Because if you did, then you know I'm planning a heist as we speak to steal your PS5.
Nice.
Good luck. I'm sure it'll make a great movie. This game looks amazing. I played the demo. I'm so excited to sink an ungodly amount of hours into this game, so I'm recommending it. If if you didn't play, well, they're selling it actually as a twin pack, so you can buy it and play the first part and the middle part with Yuffie and the second part. So I would just say go all in.
I do think it would be crazy to play this one without playing the first
I would
one.
hope they're selling it as a 3-pack.
Yeah. I would buy it. I go from the beginning and play it, and it's so good if you like RPGs. I think the fighting style is so good. It's funny. I was playing Final Fantasy 16 for so long after 7 that like I'm like, oh, the combat's so different, because like Final Fantasy 16 is so much closer to a Devil May Cry, and this is closer to the more like modernish kind of real-time combat-y Final Fantasy games. I think 7 Part 1 was great with, and I'm so excited to play with the characters. I'm so excited to beat my boy Kate Sith and Vincent and Sid apparently, but I don't think he's gonna be playable. I'm just very excited.
Sorry, you mean Cat She?
What? No.
So you pronounce it's a real Celtic word, and that's how you pronounce it.
Well, I'm going with Kate Sith because that's how my 10-year-old brain read it, and I'm like, that's Kate Sith.
Wait,
all right. I mean, if you want to disrespect the Irish, that's on you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if I can every day.
One of the two silliest peoples, right up there with Italians, and I can say that because I'm half Irish and 0 Italian. So
yeah, and I can also say that because my wife is half Irish and half Italian.
Oh my God,
damn,
silliest house you can imagine.
And
DJ's also in that house. So like, what are you even doing? You know,
it's true. It's true.
DJ, this is the one. This is Final Fantasy. This is the one you were talking about the other day, where you were like, they finally made her boobs bigger, and I like the game now. Is this you? I think you told me this.
DJ was like, I was really upset in the first one because they made her boobs small, but now they're big again, and that means it's good.
Yeah, it's matched to the body pillow you were saying, I think was what you
you said that all of the special merchandise you'd bought over the past 20 years had it like that, and so it was really unfortunate that they couldn't be faithful.
I think that them getting Red 13's boob size is paramount. Like it's a certain polygon in the first game. You got to shape that out. So it's like, yeah, Red 13 has the accurate breast
and he's
size.
A dog man, which means there has to be 6 of them.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
That's why they named him Red 13, a number just like 6. You know?
I really wish I could play that game. I love the first one.
It sucks that it's
listen,
only on
Diggins, if you want to borrow my PS5, I have not played a game on it in quite a while.
You have one? I didn't even know you had one.
Oh yeah, I played the Spider. I needed it for Spider-Man for work, and like I've played that. In fact, I didn't even finish it because I was like, I don't really like this game. And I used to play Overwatch on it, and then I stopped playing Overwatch because Overwatch is bad.
Wait. Do you know who they teased at the end of that game in the post-credit scene?
Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah. Okay. I watched all the cutscenes. You know what it is? I just don't really like Venom that much. And, like, the game is, like, you're like, oh, how much Venom? How much Kraven? What are we doing here? And then at halfway point, it's like, no, it's this. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Probably get some Carnage DLC if that ever pans out.
I hope so. I mean, and I probably will play it for that.
I hope he's voiced by Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I hope they just take all Woody Harrelson's lines and try to fit him into the game. I don't even remember what he said in it because it was so
Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Eddie Brock.
I feel like he had a lot of like weird little like southerny witticisms or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember what any of them were. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, Diggins, if you want to come to my house, you can borrow it and like take it back to New York. I don't care. PlayStation texted all of us PS5 owners and was like, throw your PS5 right in the trash, sir. PS6 coming tomorrow. Everybody, the person writing this text fired immediately. No one works for this company anymore. We're making a Willy Wonka experience.
Somebody's prediction is looking.
I know.
They need to make room for all those quadruple A games.
Apparently, yeah, right.
Yeah, like Skull and Bones,
and Bones. Yeah, I mean it is wild how bad this is this week for game people. But yeah, your prediction's looking good.
I'm sure they'll announce next week after record sales for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Square Enix lays off half its staff. I'm sure that's right around the corner.
Probably not, because Japan has much stricter laws about that kind of thing.
Oh, okay, so they're safe. Go move to Japan and work for one of those companies. But Sony's a Japanese company.
Yeah, but they fired American staff.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's smart.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Good for them. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, could not recommend enough. I'm so excited. Red 13's boobs, I'm pretty excited. And I can't wait to play all the beach scenes so I could use all the beach wear. That'll also be fun, I'm sure.
Right. Awesome. So you can see Hojo relaxing on the beach like he is in the original game.
Wait. Yeah, he's just chilling. That's all my recs. So I'll pass that baton to Diggins.
So I will be breaking the cardinal rule of this segment and recommending another podcast.
I thought you said you were going to recommend something where the boobs got smaller. And then,
where they censored the vagina bones.
Yeah, I don't like that one bit.
No.
No. I'm ranking a podcast. Now, I think it has a great name, so I'm going to dance around a little bit, but it's kind of, I mentioned way earlier, that I'm terminally online. And it's kind of a podcast for those of us who are terminally online. Just about the phenomenon of being online and like what that means. And also like weird little internet stories that you're never going to hear about if you're not one of these people. The podcast is called Never Post.
Oh, okay.
Which is of course great advice. I don't know where you thought I was going with this.
There's a podcast called Terminally Online.
I thought it was going to be called something really funny and like, super online esoteric, like, milkshake duck rises up to baby Gronk or something like that. But yeah.
No, it's just the central advice we should all take in our lives, which is never post.
Ignored. Continue. Posting right now. I'm just going to click a real post.
Well, Nando, you have to post.
None of us have to. I could live in the woods.
Okay. If you want to continue having the livelihood you currently have, you have to post.
That's right.
But no, so this is a podcast hosted by Mike Rugnetta, whom I have recommended works by before, including his actual play show Fun City. But no, I just think he's a really smart and like well-spoken.
What is it?
Nothing. There's absolutely nothing funny that just happened.
Nice.
There's nothing funny that if you look at Nando's Twitter and sort of try to line up certain elements, that this would make sense.
Yeah.
But I just think he's someone who's like been involved in like having his career be internet things for like the past 25 years or so. So he's like really knowledgeable about like the space and how it's evolved and like the history of it. And so it's cool to hear him sort of like talk to other people about it and like come up with these like, and like have these like news stories. Well, the first episode, they talk about poster's brain, like your J.K. Rowling's or your Graham Linehans, where you just become obsessed with one thing and like you can't stop posting about it. And like it destroys all of your relationships. You get divorced. This is what happened. Graham Linehan's wife left him because he could not stop posting.
Yeah, I don't know
about
who that
trans
is.
people.
Right.
Is that a famous person?
He's a British writer. He wrote Father Ted and the IT Crowd.
Oh, I was gonna say Father Stu, but no. Okay.
And he became one of those anti-trans British people and became so obsessed with it. He kept posting about it so constantly that his wife left him.
That's
Nice.
insane.
Good for her.
Yeah. So it's just, about that phenomenon of poster's brain. Like, what makes a person do that? And, like, how does it manifest?
Hope she left him for the guy that wrote Father Stu. She's like,
We
nah, that's
can
a
only
real
hope.
man. Assuming a man wrote Father Stu, but I'm just gonna take a wild guess. Say it's
Take a
written by
wild
the
guess
guy
that
who
that-
is Father Stu in real life or something. That's how those tend to go.
Take a wild guess that this Mel Gibson, Mark Wahlberg movie is written by a man.
Yeah. Yeah. Feel pretty good about that one.
Anyway, yeah, so that's Never Post as a podcast. I think it's pretty neat. What about you, Nando? Anything to recommend?
Yeah, a couple quick ones. Movies I hadn't seen that I finally watched. Watched The Killer, which I had not watched. I hadn't finished. I'd seen parts of it. I like it. I think it's interesting. It's cool. It's fun. He's a star. I like him a lot. That Michael Fassbender. He's good people. Well, I don't know about good people. Maybe he yelled at what's her name. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah, it could have been. They were in the Snowman together. Then we've got Past Lives. Finally watched that. Loved it, obviously.
Great movie.
Yeah, just terrific. And it's just great. I don't even know how to describe it. Without kind of spoiling parts of it and like the vibe of it. Although I will say, like, speaking of terminally online, it is one of those movies where like the main characters are kind of our age, and that's weird because you watch their past and you're like, oh wait, that's my past. So that part's cool.
I didn't know you grew up in South Korea.
I did. And I left, and look at what happened. Imagine what my life would have been like had I not.
Listen, you watch Past Lives and you see shitty Facebook and you're like, oh my God, this is so accurate.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, you got me there.
And then the other one I watched is I finally watched Poor Things because it finally got its home release. So obviously also great. I don't know what this year was the movie of. I can't quite put my finger on it yet. And I also still haven't watched Zone of Interest, which is on my list and is also home release. And I probably am going to skip Maestro. But I think between Poor Things, Past Lives, Barbie a little bit, not a ton, and one more I can't remember. It's the year of like that little husband guy, a lot of those hanging out in movies, just being little husband guys. Like, yeah, kind of. And like, you're like, is he a husband? I was like, maybe, I don't know, but he's doing his best, and it's working out. But I loved. I mean, I don't know if I have a favorite. I think my favorite movie so far this year is probably Anatomy of a Fall out of all of the Oscar movies. But like those other two, Past Lives and Poor Things, are like right up there.
That's way up there for me. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Anatomy of a Fall was great.
They're really good.
I think Anatomy of a Fall and Poor Things, at least of the nominees, I think would be what I'd have to pick. But
yeah, no, I agree. And there's something so like kind of not like, I don't want to say like quaint about Past Lives compared to them, but it is so simple and so contained. And it's like, I respect that about it, maybe compared to like something like Poor Things, which is like a Willy Wonka-esque experience if I've ever seen one, besides the one in Scotland. So like, it's like, that's kind of doing something different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Another thing I really like about Past Lives, which I'm not sure I mentioned when I wrecked it, is it's a movie that it feels like there's so many versions of this movie and so many like ways it could have gone, where the like central premise and conflict is around like misunderstandings and not communicating well.
Yeah.
And like jealousy and things like that. And instead it's a movie where everyone is very like open and communicative and like honest about their feelings to some degree or another. Mm-hmm. In a way that still is like dramatic and still like drives things forward. And it's kind of refreshing to see that, where it's like, this isn't like wacky movie hijinks or whatever. This is like people having adult conversations and like genuinely trying to like do their best. And it's still like dramatic because it's a situation that is just difficult and doesn't have an easy answer.
Yeah.
And there are a couple uncut gems like butt clenching moments. Like, you can get a little clenched watch some of those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
At least I was.
I mean, the whole movie from start to finish, when I saw it, I was like clenched right up. But I watched it on a plane, so that probably had something to do with it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm probably going to watch like Maestro on a plane.
It's a good plane movie. Yeah, I don't think it's like, and you know what else? I wasn't like sobbing, or anything like that. It like his emotions, but it's not, I mean, I'm sure everybody takes it differently. No, but I was expecting this to be much worse.
I have a friend who got ruined by that ending.
Yeah, and I'm sure, it hits everybody differently, but it wasn't that for me. The same way that like Holdovers like got a tear out of me, but I was like, good movie. Not a huge, just not a humongous bummer. And like, so yeah, I liked it. But those aren't my recommendations. Neither is Peacemaker, which I've watched all of again just because I was like doing a video on it and it reminded me that show was great. I really like that show.
Yeah, I love that show.
It's so good. And like the action's so good. And like some of the jokes aren't great, but like some of them, just enough of the jokes are good that it's a really, really funny show. And then on top of that, all the other stuff about it is great. So I don't know why, I know why it's not a show we talk about all the time, but like it's a really good show. Also, I'm 2 episodes into the season 6 of Love is Blind. DJ, You've been recommending this tweet for a while. Is it because the hero of this season's name is also Matthew?
I cannot say more, but just please watch more episodes.
Yeah, I'm in love with it. He's great.
There's a Matt and there's a Ken. There's a Ken as well.
Which one is the Ken?
He's the high school or middle school principal who's 25 inexplicably.
Yeah, he's one of the like 2 relationships where you're like, these people seem okay. I hope they don't crash and burn like the ones I hope crash and burn do. And they're very likely to crash and burn.
I can't wait till we record again or whatever we talk again and talk more about Matthew. Actually, just text me when you're caught up or whatever.
If it wasn't for having to watch Peacemaker, that would have been my plane thing on the way back, and then I would have watched that. So, although I do feel weird watching dating shows with people behind me because like watching people kiss in those is so awkward.
Oh yeah,
and I don't want to force that upon anybody. But you know what else I watched on the plane? It was a couple long plane rides. My new favorite show, my actual recommendation this week, Halo Season 2 is good. It is. I don't know what to tell you. It's good. It just is good. And like they got it right. They took all the notes, not like from us, but just like from people who know what they're doing. Because I didn't watch the first season.
If they took the notes from me, there would have been 2,000% more cucking.
I mean... I don't want to say there's zero cucking in the bits that I've seen. There's at least a little bit of like implied something's going on in parts that I'm like, cool, good. But yeah, it's like really, I think it's great at being what it is. It's not like the best show ever, but like, I think a big part of 2 things that I think really work. Number 1, there's a bad guy who is a slimy, bad British guy, and he's very bad. And he's not even just a bad guy, though. There's more to him than that. But just like he's very entertaining as like an antagonist that's not a big alien man, or what I believe was the antagonist of the first season, a human working for the aliens, which people really didn't like. It's like they figured out how to make a human bad guy that does this thing. Second, they did like the I don't know how much you know about this, DJ or Diggins. Did you ever play Halo? Are you familiar with any of that lore?
I'm weirdly familiar with the story of Halo, yes.
Okay. So the second season takes place on Reach. Episode 4 is called Reach. So that's your like that episode. And that episode's great at just being a fun kind of action episode. So yeah, I think Pablo Schreiber's pretty good, like the guy who plays the Master Chief. And they talk about the helmet a little bit. And they're like, we don't even need you. You're just a guy in a helmet. And it's like, no, I'm not. I wear a t-shirt now. And I'm like, good for that. That's what Master Chief should do. It's totally flipped me on all that stuff. The action's cool. The guy from season 2 of Fargo is pretty good. He's weirdo. Everybody's weird in it. But yeah, I would say I haven't watched. I don't know if they've put out a 5th episode of this season. I don't think they have. If they have, it would have had to come out like yesterday, which it actually just might have.
Let's say I had a couple long plane rides.
Yeah.
Like, do I need to watch season 1 to watch season 2?
I think they did a previously on at some point, but all you need to know that the stuff about Halsey is a bad person who I believe got arrested or something. Maybe they thought she was dead. Doesn't matter. Master Chief is a Spartan. There's some other Spartans kicking around. And then the main important plot thing is there's some sort of woman who was evil, who was working with the elites and like the aliens on the Covenant. That's the only thing that they haven't really had characters sit down and explain. Even the Halsey stuff, like characters have been like, she did this. But I think I think the writers were just like, if we can use that character's name, the one who was on the alien team, as little as possible, that would be great, because but like all the rest of it, like the first scene is them going to a planet, like doing a thing, and everybody is like, hey, I'm just the one who likes to say this and doesn't think this is a good idea. And then the other one's like, but I'm this guy. So like, they establish all that stuff really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say definitely download like the first 5 episodes on Paramount Plus streaming service everyone has. And watch the first one, see how you feel. If you don't like the first one, you probably won't like any of them, but I think it's good. And I think like the drama on Earth is pretty entertaining. So
DJ, I need you to keep a picture of Nando with you when you get on this plane, so when you're hovering over the Halo show, you can look at it and see I have scrawled beneath it, don't believe his lies.
Picture me and Joey Pants next to each other, holding hands.
Hey.
Favorite guy of the podcast. I feel like, I mean, I definitely don't think it's the best show ever, but it won me big time. It won me enough that I was like, I'm going to have to get Paramount Plus forever now. Like I didn't think I was going to get it. So
damn.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what someone who liked the first season thinks of it, but I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Next week, what are we doing next week?
Dune.
Ooh, yeah, that's what we're doing next week. It's going to be big.
We're Dune Tune.
Yep. Very exciting. DJ, do you have anything to plug for the fine people?
Just check out Roses and Rejections as we winding down this season of The Bachelor. Should be a good one. It's been good so far.
Nice. Diggins, what about you?
Nope. What about you, Nando?
Probably a video out pretty soon, but I don't know when. So, just keep looking for videos that I have made on my YouTube channel, and, Nebula and stuff. Nando Movies is the channel that those are. And, we'll figure it out. Until next week for Dune, I've been at Nando Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woo!
Bye. We love you.